Well, I mean,
We'll talk off the app. We'll talk off
we'll
the app.
talk off the app. We'll talk off the app.
All right. Cool. So guys, listen, as you know, we are simulcasting on both Twitch, and Twitch is Tough Lifestyle. You can find the link in the bio, and on YouTube. And I made sure I didn't boomer myself this morning. We are public on YouTube, so there is actually people watching. We are live on YouTube. I didn't realize that it wasn't streaming there before because I'm a boomer.
How's the mic? Anybody reporting any mic issues this morning?
How's the mic sound over there on Twitch, guys?
Listen, not that I want anybody to leave the TikTok live, but I just want to say that yesterday I actually got to see all of the layouts for YouTube and Twitch, and when I tell you they're amazing, I'm not kidding. Like, they're beautifully done, and you guys should check them out and also sub on YouTube and Twitch because it's a fun time over there.
Yep. Link is in the bio for the YouTube, guys. You can go right over there. It's Mr.Jones_X. Good morning, Athena. How are you? Have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
Of course I have. I've said something kind of about myself.
Oh, I forgot it's not even morning for you. I had a third of a bottle of water and now I'm drinking a whole bottle of water.
I have a question. Why do you celebrate Juneteenth?
I have a question for you. Why are you being rude?
I'm not being rude.
Did anybody say hello? Did you hear us talking, or you just felt like your voice was more important than everybody else's voice?
Well, we're the exact same race, so...
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
So I have a question, though.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
Have you had some water?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you said anything kind about yourself?
Yeah, I say good morning to myself.
Okay, good. Well, that's not saying something kind about yourself, but okay. I guess you missed the assignment. Do you normally walk in people's houses unannounced and just put your feet on the table? Just curious.
No, I take my shoes off.
And then put your feet on the table.
House. No, I greet people.
Oh, okay, good. So now we're on the same page. When you come into somebody's house, you say hello, good morning, things of that nature.
Yep.
Dig it. Why do I celebrate Juneteenth is your question.
Yes.
Okay. So you know what Juneteenth represents? And do you mind turning off the cartoons in the background, bro? Like, nobody wants to hear Bert and Ernie in the morning.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You can still hear the cartoons, Genius.
I'm in another bedroom.
That doesn't mean we can't hear it.
All right, go ahead.
Jesus Christ. What does Juneteenth represent?
You tell me.
You are incredibly rude, sir.
I'm not
Rude. It's uncalled for.
I'm not rude. I am not being rude.
I said, Brandon, do you know what Juneteenth represents? You said, I do. I said, okay, what does it represent?
Oh, sorry. Bad connection. So it's pretty much when the last blacks were free from
Blacks?
slavery.
Bro, what? Were they crayons?
Oh, let me call them African Americans.
Black people?
Americans is crazy. Wait, can I ask him a question?
Sure,
Mr.
go ahead,
Trump?
Athena. You got it.
Sorry. Brandon, are you a black Trump supporter?
Yep.
Figures.
Ask the question because the fact that
are you African American?
Black American.
Black. So what do you mean by Black American? Are you originally from somewhere else?
I was never born in Africa. I was born in the United States.
In the United States. Okay.
So back.
You realize African American is an ethnicity, right?
So
Right.
why do you support Juneteenth?
Why not?
Why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
As a descendant as a descendant of enslaved Africans, right? As a descendant of enslaved Africans, it is important to recognize what's semblance of a 4th of July or Day of Liberty, right? that we have within our culture. You know, a day of liberation.
I'm also so confused. You just answered like what Juneteenth stands for, right? Like you did answer, and
But
you're
here's the thing,
confused
though.
why that's. I'm sorry, in the middle of a sentence. You're confused why that would be celebrated?
Because you do understand that the Democrats are the ones who enslaved the blacks.
Actually, that's not
We're
true.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh no.
bro.
No.
Hold
No.
on. First
No.
of all,
You might want to
stop.
double
Hey,
check
Brandon.
that.
No, I don't
All right.
have to double check it. I know it. So first of all, right. Stop saying the blacks. We're black people. Like when you say the blacks, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like black shoes, black crayons, black T-shirts. I don't know what you're talking about. Black
People
people.
of color. Fine. Let me just say people of color.
Okay, sure. But people of color represents a vast array of different people. Indian people, Latin people.
Just go back on why you support it.
Okay, so first of all, Democrats didn't own slaves. White people owned slaves, and it didn't matter their
White
political affiliation.
Democrats.
It didn't matter their political affiliation. Literally, all people of all political affiliations owned enslaved Africans. Literally, all people of all political denominations owned black people. Democrats also didn't fight to keep black people enslaved. White people fought to keep black people enslaved. Conservative white people. Now, at that time, the Dixiecrats were in fact conservative. The Dixiecrats were in fact conservative. The Republican Party, which was a third party at the time, because it was the Whigs before that, or the Democratic Republicans. The Republican Party were the progressives of that time. And now it's funny that you guys who support Republicans today or conservatives today try to point to the Dixiecrats of that time as if they're the bad guys, ignoring the fact that when we were taking down Confederate statues here in the United States, Republicans ran to the defense of those statues, those Confederate statues. Not only that, when you go to a Trump rally, what do you see? The Confederate flag. It's kind of weird that you see the Confederate flag at these Republican presidents' rallies.
I don't have an issue with it either, because I'm American.
I'm sure you don't.
I'm not going to get butthurt over a fucking flag.
All right. If you're really interested, the article is called.
It's pathetic on how you think that the fucking Democratic Party is there. The Democratic Party.
How is it whenever I start a sentence, you are interrupting me? This is the third time now.
I'm talking.
Yeah, nobody's hearing
I
you.
was starting a sentence and you interrupted me. You can talk when I'm done talking. Okay, anyways, if you're interested, there's a really great article that discusses the great party switch and how essentially it doesn't matter if they're named the Democrats or the Republicans. It is more about the values that are represented within the parties.
Exactly that.
Okay, now I'm done.
Exactly that. So, I mean, the values obviously changed. If we were to look at the Republicans Party's platform in the 1950s, quite literally, it sounds like a bunch of socialists. Like, literally. As a matter of fact, I will read it. I'll tell you what the Republican Party's platform was in the 1950s. It'll blow your mind.
So I'm learning something new in the comments that the juice box emoji is a dog whistle. I just want to clarify that. I just want to clarify that I did not know that, and it.
Hold on, a dog
means
whistle for
Jones
what?
Juice, for Jewish people. That it was a joke about Jones juice, which is something that the women in the comments were. It's inappropriate for me to say it in the way that I need to say it to explain it because it is sexual, but it was not anything about a dog whistle, I can assure you that, and I did not know. If you would like me to remove it because that is what it is, please just let me know and I'm happy to do that.
It was sexual in nature and not anti-Semitic.
So my baby mama, so behave yourselves. Also, good morning, Athena. I know you just paused, but hi.
Because he's a little baby. What do you mean?
He had to go change his diaper because real men wear diapers. Talk to Gabby, she'll explain. I've been told by other Jews it was.
Well, Athena, have you heard of it? Because Athena usually knows like every single guy.
Aisha, if you could DM.
Wait,
Aisha, if
Mr.
you can
Jones.
just DM me, that creator, and I'll reach out to them.
Mr. Jones, can you check Discord? No problem.
I'm about to. I was going to ask you, because I remember now, when I listen to you, you ask her, but if they had some water, if they've said something good about themselves, it's great to be on. I guess I'll listen in. I'm not too sure what this is, but the topic.
Did you see my message? Oh, Wait, what? Are you talking to me? Oh, but did you see the rest of my message? Okay, per. Okay, so, and should the others request as well right now? Okay, can you make me bigger, please? So I can show up the poster. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, hey everybody. 1 second, bear with me. So, this is very, very exciting because Mr. Jones is the debut live of a project that I decided to launch. That project is going to be called From the River Across the Sea, kind of very similar to the From the River to the Sea slogan that is for Free Palestine. Mr. Jones was very, very kind enough to agree to participate in this project, and also going to be organizing this fundraiser. He's going to be explaining more about the fundraiser. So this is going to be a series of lives. Thankfully, Parker as well has been very, very kind. There are more guests from Debate Talk as well who are going to be participating. It's going to be a series of lives it's going to be continuing for the next couple of weeks. And the reason as to why I decided to kind of launch this project is because I feel like sometimes, like some people really, really don't understand the urgency of what is happening right now in Gaza, which is basically over 36,000 people have already been unalived, over 16,000 children have been unalived, over 2 million people displaced, and there's an active famine happening in northern Gaza. The videos coming out there are out of Gaza right now, and also from the West Bank. Occupied Palestine in general are genuinely horrific. So I wanted to also kind of issue a call to action to the 460 people watching here. I want y'all to, once you've left this live, to continue doing the work outside of this live as well, which is number one, continue please raising awareness about this issue, whether it is in your family, whether it is in your community, whether it is on social media as well. Actively talk about it. Go to protests. Please go to protests regularly. Pressure your representatives as well, because all your representatives are actively aiding and abetting in a G-side. Call them, email them, show up at their office, support student encampments as well. Go to the student encampments. If you want to participate in them and you're a student, participate in them. If you just want to provide refreshments or words of encouragement, do that as well. Boycott any and every corporation as possible that supports Israel and the G side. And if you're at a student at a university, try to pressure your university to basically part ways with Israel. There's a BDS list. Go online, Google the BDS list. You will find a list of the products to boycott. And then lastly, vote. Not only when it comes to like the presidential votes, but also on the local level. Vote out any person who would be bought out and would to any lobbying group, but especially APAC as well. Vote any person out who would be okay with people being G-sided just in order for them to line their pockets with blood money. So this is the first day of the project. Mr. Jones was very kind enough to host the first live, and he's going to talk more about the fundraiser that's going to be hosted now by Mr. Jones, and then it's going to be hosted later tonight by Parker as well. It's going to be an awesome fundraiser. The money is going to go to Gaza. All of that money is going to go to Gaza. We have Janine on the panel here. She is Palestinian. We want to amplify Palestinian voices through this project as well. And today's topic, main focus, is going to be Black and Palestinian solidarity, liberation, unity, and also history, because today is Juneteenth. So it's important for Black Americans, and it's the perfect day to discuss Black and Palestinian unity and solidarity. So Janine is going to help us with that. And
Liberation. Liberation is the key term for any like communist and any humanitarian person.
And also, Nelson Mandela literally said that our liberation is incomplete if the Palestinians are not free. So there's a history. Exactly. And we're going to delve into the history of Black and Palestinian solidarity and unity as well, and Palestinian issues. W. Anyways, I appreciate Mr. Jones. Please like, share the live, tell your friends and your besties and every server you're in about this project. We're going to actively start focusing on this. Mr. Jones is going to be talking about the fundraiser. I'm going to leave that up to him because he organized that fundraiser really well. And Parker is going to host the second live tonight, his usual time, which is around like 12 to 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Parker needs a job. So at the end of the day, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Hey guys, is it fixed on Twitch?
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
We love you, Athena.
Is it fixed on Twitch?
I love y'all too.
Okay. Thank you, Athena. I appreciate you. Janine, did you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Janine. Thank you, Athena and Mr. Jones for putting this together.
Absolutely.
And yeah, she did it. She did well. I'm Palestinian American. I live here in the States, but I travel back and forth frequently. And ooh, okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Yeah, guys, I think I fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. So for those of you who are telling me about the mic on Twitch, I fixed it just now. It's fixed. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Janine.
No, of course not. Of course. It's to those questioning what the relation is between the Palestinian liberation and Juneteenth. They coincide with one another. Not to take from the struggle of those experiencing what was going on at the time, but also to we are we are we are correlating what happened with just imperialism and colonialism and yeah. Okay, I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Hope
Listen, don't be nervous.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're all family here. So say what you need to say.
so. No, it's a relation. It's like Kobe said that we're not all. We cannot consider ourselves free until we are all free. And right now, the Palestinian people are experiencing. Over the last 76 years, Palestinian people have experienced settler colonialism, racism, supremacist ideology of Zionism, and that is why that is why oh, that is why we relate so much to what happened here in the States with the African American community.
Exactly. I think what people need to understand is that there's Black and Palestinian liberation movements, unity globally, right? You had the Black Panther Party visiting Gaza, right? There's this beautiful picture with Huey P. Newton talking or taking a photo with people, freedom fighters in Gaza. You have South Africans actively working with Palestinians. You have certain East African groups as well working actively with Palestinians. So it is just kind of really important to emphasize. Not only that, you have on multiple occasions where Black people like the ANC and South Africans actively bringing the Zionist occupation to the ICJ for a G-side, right? And then you had during the 2020 BLM riots where you had Palestinians actively giving tips to BLM protesters of how to deal with tear gas and to wash your eyes with milk and all that stuff. So I think it's really, really important to illustrate and to emphasize that unity and to also talk about Palestine.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to that, I mean, there's an entire George Floyd mural in Palestine. So they've always been in solidarity because, again, we're not free until we're all free from, from colonization and white supremacy.
Let's not also remember that the police training exchange programs between American police departments and the Israeli regime.
And the Israeli police forces. Absolutely.
So we have the Muslim surveillance program, which in part was based on the surveillance of Palestinians in the West Bank, the sale of skunk, which is a bad smelling liquid that was meant to deter protesters, which St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department
thank you for the subscription.
Purchased during the 2014 Ferguson protests, and they used them against the protesters during Ferguson protests, and on and so forth.
Lisa said, we have to stay free to help them. Our rights are on the line. White supremacy is one election away. Agreed. That's why if we don't vocally stand out and speak up about what is happening there, then we could, in fact, lose our freedoms right here. And our vote is going to determine, who is the leadership for this country. Hey, Athena, I did mod you, so you can determine who comes up and down from the box. Zoe, good morning. Have you had some water? Have you said something kind about yourself today?
Good morning, Mr. Jones. Good morning, the rest of the panel. Yes, I did. I made sure because I know you would ask me. So I said, let me say something kind about myself. Um,
Right here.
Thank you for bringing me up.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say happy Juneteenth, everyone. Happy
Absolutely.
Pride and free Palestine. So just for context, I'm 41. I live in New Jersey. My daughter is 16, and yesterday I said to her, I said, Ash, do you know what Juneteenth is? And she was like, what's that? And I felt so defeated. I was like, oh my God, they're not teaching these kids about this. And it just made me so upset because it's so important. And I had literally had to give her a whole like lesson on it. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this really happened. So I know it's been said before, but any parents out there in the comments, any of us, we have to teach our kids these things because they're not teaching them. And it's really very sad. And also, Mr. Jones, I wanted to say, I've listened to your lives before and also like other creators on here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this next election is so important. I don't know if you've been stressing it to your to people on your live, but the fact that there are two Supreme Court justices that want to
If not three,
retire.
if not three, that will have to be
Oh,
replaced in the next 4 years.
oh,
Yeah.
it's three. Oh, I thought it was
Two
two.
or three. Yes.
And I just want to tell everyone, and then I'm going to jump off because I'm about to take my daughter to school. It is so important because they want to retire under Donald Trump, and we cannot allow them to retire under Donald Trump because we know what he's going to replace them with. Please, people, I know there's so many issues why this election is very important, but I feel like as Democrats and liberals, or even independents, wherever you want to place yourself, they were laser focused on the Supreme Court
Mm-hmm.
and we miss the ball. I know I did. I'm going to speak for myself because I was always, I mean, I vote down ballot. I vote for every election, even school district, everything. I pay attention, but I did not realize how laser focused they were on the Supreme Court. And that was the bigger picture for them. And they really accomplished it. I don't give compliments to them at all, ever. But I have to tell you, they really accomplished their goal because the Supreme Court, I would argue, even the Senate is even more important than the presidential election and all the other elections.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that exactly that. And focusing on our local elections is what's really going to make a difference. And that's why being vocal about these things and talking to your local Senate members, and I think every single seat in Congress is up this election cycle. So we need to be very vocal in where we stand in terms of not only politics here in the United States, but globally. That we stand against the atrocities in Haiti, in Congo, in Sudan, in Palestine, because their freedom is directly tied to our freedom.
And the source of oppression is similar. So if we look at the
Thank you,
history of
Zeus.
how the Palestinians and how Black Americans have been oppressed or enslaved, it is all stemming from the same countries. That's the source of oppression.
Absolutely. Because if we allow it to happen abroad, if we allow it to happen, to people of color abroad, it's only a matter of time before this firestorm of white supremacy comes back and eradicates us in the very same manner. Lisa, good morning. Have you had some water? And have you said something kind about yourself?
Yes to both.
Okay, glad to hear it.
I've never been on a panel before, but I definitely have a lot to say. Like, it's scary to think that we are one election away from just losing everything that we've ever had and tried and fought for. Things we took for granted, even like Roe versus Wade, we took for granted. 2016, we dropped the ball. They got 3 more Supreme Court justices, and we can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, like those 3 Supreme Court justices, who all lied under oath, mind you, will change the course of American history probably for decades. And if they're able to get 2 more, it may change the course of American history forever. Literally forever. Hey,
Well, Jones, I came up. I'll drop because my Weezer said, "Can someone else drop for a Palestinian voice?"
Auntie,
I will be
hi.
honored to drop for another Palestinian voice because their voices need to be heard. So I will drop and I will come back.
oh, somebody
Oh,
already
somebody already
dropped.
dropped.
Yeah.
Hi, Auntie.
Right, guys, we're in the middle of a subwave, and thank you for everybody who's subscribed. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I got multiple screens going on and multiple conversations. But just understand that subscribing gives you access to our Discord. In our Discord, we, communicate, share resources, and also on occasion play games. The other night we were playing Cards Against Humanity. That was a blast. So yeah, become a Tough Fam member and join our Discord.
I'm gonna drop because I'm working anyway, so please keep this space for somebody else. I can't actively participate all the time, and their voices need to be heard more than mine does. So I'm gonna drop. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be in and out.
Thank you. Athena, was there another Palestinian voice that you wanted to bring up?
Yes, I've invited her. I think she might be away from her phone.
Gotcha. Skippy, thank you so much.
Oh,
I
there she
appreciate
is. Purr.
you. Alam, good morning. How are you? If you had some water and said something kind about yourself, thank you.
I did, because I remember you say that. So yeah, I drank water actually when you started.
Glad to hear it.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I cannot complain. I woke up on the right side of the dirt. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Hi.
Good morning.
Morning, Halam.
Good morning. Actually, can I ask a question?
You absolutely can.
So, I just wanted to make sure, like, it's cool if everyone says Happy Juneteenth, whether you are Black or not, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Juneteenth. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a lot. Excuse me. There's a lot to this coconut water count. That's fucking crazy. Somebody text me just to ask me if coconut water counted.
It does.
Yeah, it
count.
does.
It absolutely
count.
does. It absolutely does.
It's even more hydrating than regular water. So
Provided that you don't have too much sugar in it.
No, no, it doesn't.
Yes.
It has electrolytes. Jones, don't mansplain. I'm a
I
nutrition major.
heard that cactus water. I heard that cactus water is the best water that you can have, hands down. That's what I was told yesterday.
We didn't talk about what the best is. We just said that coconut water does have more electrolytes and hydrates you more.
But, I mean, I don't know that I can take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like...
You for real? Oh, my God. I'm about to drop. See, I go on vacation for a couple days, and then I come back, and I have to deal with this treatment.
I'm on my third cactus of the day. Is crazy town. I will admit that I'm really bad at this. When somebody tells me something, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, but if somebody tells me something, I feel compelled to look it up, right? But I've very recently, like in the last year or so, have stopped looking things up when women tell me things because I don't want to seem like I'm not taking them at their word or I don't believe them because they're a woman.
Okay, but also how likely was it that it was wrong when a woman told you something versus
Exactly.
when a man told you something? That's the point.
I would say that it's much more likely that it's wrong if a man tells me because men believe that they're right simply because they were arbitrarily born with a penis. However, I still look up everything that people tell me because I don't want somebody to tell me something and then I repeat it and then I find out that it's some bullshit.
Next time you tell me something about sociology, I'm just gonna say, are you sure? I'm just gonna look it up real quick.
I personally wouldn't be upset with you. But I mean, I have a solid track record, you know what I'm saying, of saying things that are typically, correct. I need to start making tally marks of man versus woman. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I would love to debate. I would love. I've always wanted to challenge Mr. Jones on like a debate, but we agree on almost everything. So I don't even know what I could like debate you on. To be fair,
Baby Jones set me up one day. He said,
with what?
He said, Dad, I want to debate you. And I said, debate you on what? And he said, capitalism. He said, I believe capitalism is working. And I was ready. I was like, oh shit, let's go. And then he was like, he's like, but I get to go first. And I'm like, sure, no problem. Like, I'm about to mop you. And he said capitalism is working exactly how it was intended to work. And I was like, you're a shitbag. Because you can't really argue against that.
He did that to me too, but don't worry, I did mop the floor with him on the whole women are worse drivers debate. Like
He said that?
Yeah.
He said women are worse drivers?
He said in his opinion constantly. So and I'm like, yeah, okay, well in my opinion, you're wrong. So.
Is that why insurance companies charge men higher rates than women?
Well, he was just talking about that the overall accidents is more prevalent in women. I'm like, well, that's just not going to be the only metric that I would use to determine like who's a good driver. Because if somebody just hits the curb and that counts as an accident versus somebody doing vehicular manslaughter, like I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
like,
So if we're
just
talking
gonna
about
be
like
different.
overall accidents, you know what I'm saying, versus like the severity of the accidents. Then I think that the severity of accidents would be more.
It's more important.
Important,
Exactly.
yeah.
And also risky behavior, like whether or not they're speeding more, whether or not they're more likely to drive under the influence versus not. So I essentially mopped the floor with him.
V Sharp said men are more dangerous but better. Women are less dangerous but worse drivers. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like if you have the potential to cause more harm. Oh, and I have something else to say about this in a minute. But if you have the potential to cause more harm, you know what I'm saying, and take lives, I would say that you're the, you know what I'm saying, like the worst driver. If you get in a couple of fender benders or check a curb every now and again, I don't care. I think that the people that are the most dangerous are the worst drivers, in my opinion.
And hot girls do hit the curb, so it's okay.
Hot girl, please.
Facts. No, facts. She's so right. Facts.
I am a hot girl, and I just don't drive, so.
I was about to say, Athena, do you drive at all?
I just am a perfect passenger princess. I don't drive because it's for the safety of society around me, to be fair.
Can you put
But that has
craisins in
nothing to do
hummus
with
is what
me
I've
being-
been asked to ask you guys. Can craisins go in hummus?
No.
No,
Wait, no,
You
what?
asked that
Wait,
with
what?
two
That's like chocolate
Palestinians?
hummus. Oh no. Please.
You asked that. Wait, hold on. You asked that question
I was told
when
to
two
ask.
Palestinians around.
I was told to ask.
I'm about to air your dirty laundry, Athena. Just brace yourself, okay? Like you
That's
better
like
not be
hazelnut.
laughing now.
That's
Bella,
You know what
gave me
crazy.
heart
Athena did?
palpitations.
Nutella hummus.
I
No,
swear.
you know what Athena did? She ate spaghetti with hummus.
Oh.
Okay, no, wait. When we eat hummus, we eat it with a carb. So
Don't
okay.
give her
Yeah.
excuses. No. Where's the block button? No. What?
I was about to say you
What
didn't
does it
have any bread.
No,
That's
I didn't.
crazy.
Listen, wait.
I
Is it
apologize. I
like?
just wanted to come up and speak to this as a
Oh
as a
dear.
as
No,
a first
Liv,
class
leave.
witness.
Why did you come here?
I just wanted to come up and speak to this really quickly. Yes, Athena thinks that hummus makes spaghetti sauce creamy. Her words, these words, absolutely.
Yo,
Yes.
that's crazy. So craisins and hummus doesn't sound that bad.
No, it does. It does. That
Sweet
doesn't
and
absolve you.
savory.
No.
You get a sweet and
That
a
doesn't
savory.
absolve you. Mm-mm.
You get a sweet and a
Liv,
savory.
Mm-mm.
I'm here
Just
for it.
because
I'm gonna
she's
try
wrong
it. I
doesn't
might
mean we
try
get
it
double
today.
wrong.
I might try it today, to be
Liv,
honest with you.
Liv is so messy. The way he came up here on his dark live account, like the darker live account, to just drag me. The misogynoir coming out of this live is actually insane, Liv. But anyways.
Hold on, wait. I thought I came up as a credible witness to back up a particular claim. That is not misogynoir. That's just me being honest. Should I not, as a man, be honest?
This
Are you
is a
telling me I should
Juneteenth
lie?
tragedy. Is crazy.
No, but like, yeah, so to change the topic from dragging me, because
Yeah. So
yeah,
let's talk about
I
why
wanted
we're
to,
all. Oh, go ahead, Athena. You got it.
yeah, no, I wanted to kind of like briefly like ask Ahlam and Janine something. So to a lot of people who were not paying attention to Palestine, they thought that I think October the 7th started it all. Um, and I think like I don't necessarily even like blame a lot of people in the West, because a lot of the media that we get is really like very from
Thank you,
one-sided
Carrie.
Zionist propaganda as well. And I think, like, for me, for example, I because of my mother, I paid attention to it since I was a kid. With like Muhammad al-Durra, for example, I remember that very, very vividly when I was a kid. But to Janine and Ahlam, maybe I would like y'all to maybe talk about if it all started on October the 7th, or just the occupation, living standard of Palestinians. Where do you think it all started?
But before you, right before you go, Janine, I'm so sorry. Hey guys, listen, we've been on for nearly an hour and we're only at 54,000 likes. I need you to tap the screen. I need you to share the live, be active participants in the live, and make sure that you're gifting our panelists, because this is, this is labor for them. And everything that you're going to receive today is education. Now, there might be some small moments of entertainment, but I actually need you guys to pay attention today. So please tap the screen. Please be actively involved in the live. Thank you so much for the money guns.
October 7th is a catalyst that sparked like the world's resistance against what was going on in Palestine. But no, what happened on October 7th did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been fighting oppression and apartheid for over 76 years. This did not start on October 7th. It started, mainly November of 1947, when the land was partitioned by complete outsiders to the Zionist movement, and Palestinians weren't even allowed at the table of this decision making. And then we were immediately ethnically cleansed. We were immediately ethnically cleansed from our villages in what is now considered proper Israel. And over 89 villages were ethnically cleansed and massacred prior to Israel's inception in May 15th of 1948. So no, this conflict did not start on October 7th. The concept of violent resistance started way before all of that, and that was just because Palestinians are tired of asking for their basic, simple rights as human beings to live on their land and the right to return. Anna?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, so that's the thing. It was the Brits, right, and the Zionists who came. In 1917, the Balfour Declaration was signed, and our land was given away without our consent, without our consideration, without anything. And like Janine said, so many villages were attacked, and numerous villages were actually labeled as peaceful villages who didn't want to participate in resisting. They wanted to just continue living how they were, and they were attacked. One of the most famous examples is Deir Yassin, which did not resist, did not fight, they literally didn't contribute towards, fighting the Zionists, fighting the Brits, doing anything like that. And they were very, very brutally unalived, right? But yeah, people don't understand that this has been happening, and we have been fighting. October 7th wasn't the first time that we fought back. There were numerous times, and there were numerous times that the Israelis were booming Gaza and booming in the West Bank. There's Jenin, there's Nablus, they mostly, since it's a military occupation on ground in the West Bank, so they unalive us with, I don't know what words I can say, Mr. Jones, like stick with like the pew pew stuff like that, or like can I just say everything normally?
You actually can say gun. It's not
okay, cool.
It's not just don't be graphic and don't talk about, what I'm saying, like any specific weaponry.
Okay. So yeah, so they would shoot us, they'll shoot us in the West Bank since they have the option to do so, since they're boots on ground military occupation there. So it's much more brutal where we deal with it day to day in the West Bank, and in Gaza they're bombed, unfortunately, since it's an off ground occupation, but the water's controlled. They actually have calorie counts where the Zionists will count how many calories they're allowed to have a day. How much food is allowed in. There's a siege, there's a blockade on Gaza. So this has been happening for years and years since 1917 this has been planned and happening, since prior to that. But the first real attack on our freedom and our rights was 1917 when our land was taken from us.
So, what do you say to the people who say, who maybe might not understand why some Palestinians might, or Palestinians in general, might support armed struggle or might support the age group, for example?
Janine, you want to talk about the Great March of Return?
Yes, I can do that. Palestinians have tried numerous amount of times to the peaceful approach. You see that in the acceptance of the Oslo Accords. You see that in the being complicit with, not complicit, being compliant with the illegal settlements being placed in the West Bank. We adhere to curfews. We adhere to systematic just discrimination against us in regards to they have the Zionists and the Israelis having a lot more rights than the Palestinians. And then, as Ahlan said, there's the Great March of Return, where I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're fine.
So like Janine was saying, it's blatant. We've actually, while we were talking about, the West Bank and Gaza, we can't forget that in what we call 48, so in Israel, which is still Palestinian land to us, it's still occupied by the Israelis. It's our land. Even there, we have Palestinians who live there who don't have equal rights. There's 65 laws discriminating against Palestinians specifically, actually. So Israel is an apartheid state. And that's why they're currently on trial with, like, in the ICJ. That's how, South Africa, it was an apartheid state. They recognized the apartheid and the oppression that the Palestinians in 48 go through. But yeah, Janine, continue with the Great March of Return.
So in 2018, a grassroots movement organized the Great March of Return, where Gazans were just going to sit apart from the border fence leading into proper Israel and protest peacefully in regards to just asking to return back to their original lands, because the majority of population within Gaza is actually from 1948 diaspora. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so basically the march was every day for, I believe it was a year, 2018 to 2019, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not that great with the dates, honestly, but like off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it was 2018, 2019. Every day for a year, every Friday, they would go and they would peacefully protest at the wall. They would protest and they would just want to go back home. That's what they were fighting for. The final Friday is when the Israelis started by sniping a 2-year-old in the head. They unalived a 2-year-old, and that's what really started that violence when it came to the Great March of Return. So we've tried numerous times to peacefully protest. We've tried to, raise our voices to, Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was waving to Alina.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, so we've tried numerous times to peacefully protest, and it's always been met with violence, the same way Israel was created and founded, in violence and bloodshed.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And then the worst part about it is the demonizing of the Palestinian people. So this protest that lasted for an entire year, I believe over 250 Palestinians in Gaza were unalived. That's not including what was going on in the West Bank at the time. And that's another major issue with the Palestinian cause, is that the West likes to separate what's going on in Gaza and what's going on in the West Bank. They want to divide us, and that it's not true. So whenever the West Bank is experiencing atrocities by Israel, Gaza feels it, and whenever Gaza is experiencing atrocities by Israel, the West Bank feels it. And it's, no matter how much they try to divide us, we're always going to be connected. And that's kind of what led up to what happened on October 7th. In February of that year, there was an actual pogrom that was committed in a village in the West Bank named Hawara. And with that started it sparked a bunch of settler raids within the West Bank. And as this was happening, H Group and Gaza was, H Group particularly was warning Israel, like, stop, stop your raids on the mosque, stop the raids in the West Bank. This is getting out of hand. And throughout that summer as well, Jenin, the city of Jenin was also attacked multiple times. That was 2023 was actually the deadliest year for Palestinians, leading up to over 300 unalivings. I can say unalivings is, everyone understands what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm used to this new TikTok lingo, and then after, with that, and then with the raiding of Al-Aqsa Mosque on October 5th of 2023, it's eventually led to what happened on October 7th.
Thank you so much. And I think that having that background is important. In a little bit, I'll tie into how these things, are directly related to what we have, experienced as Black and Indigenous people here in the United States. Really quickly, though, Liv and hey, Bobby, I'm going to bring you right back up. I just need them to talk about the fundraiser, and then I'll bring you right back up. Is that cool, Bobby?
Yeah, of course, brother.
Okay, I'll bring you right back. Okay. Who wants to go first? Liv?
Yeah.
And the link is in my bio, just so you know.
Absolutely. So in Solidarity today, we have art8auctions.org has a few events where individuals can buy tickets to purchase, I believe, Essentiality, The Unheard Voice, and also, for the first time, being revealed, is an original from Dan Trail. And I'm going to let you talk about the original, Dan Trail.
Okay, so but before I present the original, I am a member of 7 ambassadors to the National Juneteenth holiday. You're probably turning on the TV right now and seeing the mural on every station. With that ambassadorship, I must make sure and make mention that the struggles, the perseverance of Black people on this day. What makes this day so special to us that a lot of people don't know, those were Black troops that went to white plantations, to YT plantations, to free their kindred. Now, General Granger issued the order, but I think the only thing that was stronger than American racism was American pettiness, because the Union Army got petty with them and sent Black troops to these white plantations to free Black people. Now, the solidarity that I have, that I stand with Palestine, is the fact that it's all due to the same colonizers, the same people exploiting lives for profit. The military industrial complex that feeds into Israel, that funds the genocide over there. Okay? The same genocide that destroyed indigenous people in the United States to the point that it changed the climate. So make no mistake, as an ambassador of Juneteenth, I have not forgotten what the holiday is about. But the holiday is about people standing up against oppression around the world now. Around the world. With that being said, I'm about to reveal my latest piece, called From the River to the Sea. It's a plate.
And now the site is in fact live. A portion of the proceeds do go support Palestinian relief efforts in Gaza. We are also supporting a nonprofit, a Black organization in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Running Rebels Community Organization. So we would love for everyone in here, to click the link in Tuff's bio, in Mr. Jones' bio, art8auctions.org. Get your tickets now. Tickets are only $50 a piece. You can buy as many as you like. You can buy as many tickets as you like. On this day, let's support a great cause. Let's stand with the people. Let's stand with freedom. Let's stand with liberation, not just the liberation of Black Americans, but the liberation of all Black and Indigenous people globally. Liberation of all Black and Indigenous people globally.
As I want to explain one thing. The eyes, even though we know it's Israel that's committing this genocide. The eyes, and I had a model. I used the nose of a friend. I'm not gonna say who. I had a model that I used, a younger version of, but the eyes is saying you may think you're sitting in the back, United States government, but we are watching you. We are watching you.
Yeah, so absolutely. Click the link in Mr. Jones' bio. Tickets are $50 a piece. Let's support Palestinian relief efforts. Let's stand in solidarity with Black people in America on this Juneteenth day. Click the link, buy as many tickets as y'all can, as many tickets as y'all want. This is absolutely a 101, a phenomenal piece. Phenomenal piece.
So with that being said, I must make mention of my ancestors once again. On this Juneteenth, freedom is a road seldom traveled by the multitude. It's one of my favorite statements. The thing about freedom is it must be taken. Colonizers don't give freedom. Colonizers didn't give us freedom in the United States. Don't ever think about that. They were losing that war until we joined. General Lee was going up and down the seaboard, destroying everything until we joined and fought for ourselves. Okay? And as I said before, on June 19th, 1865, General Granger, who we don't even know whether the man really cared. He was just following orders. Showed up in Galveston and issued order number 3, which called for absolute equality. And then those troops, many of them former slaves, picked up their bayonets and they went across Texas. Now, here in Texas is also known as the bloodiest day because many plantation owners, rather than letting their bonded people go, unalived them. They just said, no, you will pass as my property. So when we think about those heroic Black soldiers that went from plantation to plantation to free their country, also think about the many lives that were lost, the undocumented genocide in the state of Texas, where they unalived people rather than letting them go. And know that the ancestors called for us to fight for freedom and equality, and equity. Equality is not going to be enough in equity. Here in the Congo, in Palestine, and anywhere else where the indigenous peoples of that place are being persecuted, until all are free, none are free.
And since you're up on the big screen, Andrew, I was going to show a green screen of it, but can you also show the other piece that's available on the website behind you, The Unheard Voice? We also have The Unheard Voice. This isn't an original. This is, in fact, an original. Again, the unheard voice is valued at roughly $18,000. We also have essentiality. Essentiality is a phenomenal piece right here on my green screen. Oop, my green screen to work. There we go. And we also have Essentiality as well on the website where you can purchase tickets. Again, all relief efforts, all fundings, portion of fundings will go to support relief efforts in Palestine and also support Black initiatives here in America. So please support. Go get your tickets now. You can buy as many as you'd like. We just appreciate all of the support as we stand in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters and our Black brothers and sisters here in America.
I said the link is in the bio. It's Art Aid Auction. Link is in the bio. Spencer, kiss my my black ass. This is not capitalism. This is called a community effort. This is communalism. Totally different things. Words mean things, believe it or not. Hey, good morning, Queen Mother. How are you? If you had some water and said something kind about yourself.
Hey, really quick, I gotta hop down.
Okay, Lynn. All right, Lynn.
I gotta hop down for June. Get ready for Juneteenth today.
Palestinians do like us. They love us, as a matter of fact.
Can you see the Discord, by the way? I sent you a message as well. I'm so sorry.
I got Juneteenth as well. So I got a lot of appearances across the TikTok to give some history on Juneteenth as an ambassador. I love y'all to death. I love y'all life.
Hold on, Dantrell. Can you show that picture again for me? Can you show me that plate again?
Oh, hey, I'll put him back in the big screen. Hey, listen, I want the plate. You know what I'm saying? Like, the likelihood of me winning it is slim, but I want that shit back.
Mr. Jones. Yes. Mr. Jones.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know or haven't figured it out, that's my face. Just a younger version.
Yeah, I used a younger version of her face because I couldn't figure out how to do it, and what I did was I changed some tones and went to a younger version of her face. I used the nose and everything else like that, and then I went and I investigated the everything about a Palestinian because I wanted it to be authentic. I didn't want to offend anyone. So I wanted to show respect.
Thank you, Dantrell. Thank you, Dantrell.
Mm-hmm. And Spencer, on a very strong note here, I wasn't going to address you, but what you just said was out of pocket. How can you be pro-Black?
He's not. We know that.
Anyway, yeah, y'all check that out. I got some more Juneteenth appearances to make. Make sure you go to the website and check out the other things that we have going on, and also as well. And I'll be back, but I gotta go make these. I gotta go make these appearances. It's a very emotional day for me because when I turn on the TV, I cannot turn the TV on without seeing the mural. CNN just had it up. CBS has had it up. The local people have been there. But the whole thing about it is, if y'all knew how emotional it is, every artist that painted that on that mural had their lives threatened. I was told every day if I finished that mural, they was gonna find me swinging in a tree. These days, this was 2021. We had to move our art. We had to move our whole art studio because people were threatening Reginald's children because of this mural. So it's not when I see the accolades, it's not the accolades that impress me. It's the fact that we literally risked our lives. I was every day 50 feet in the air, over 300 and something pounds. And I just think about my grandmother. I think about everybody that went through everything, the stories being told and everything else like that. And I need y'all to recognize that it's a messed up world we live in. But it's our responsibility as freedom fighters to either change this world or perish fighting for freedom or unaliveness.
Thank you, Dan Trail. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Dantrell, that's a very beautiful painting, and truly appreciate your support. Thank you.
Yeah. I just before we go to the other people, especially Auntie, Bobby as well, and Divas and Priscilla, I wanted to kind of show y'all the urgency of what's going on. Sadly, unfortunately, one death is a tragedy, but 1,000 becomes a statistic. So in this segment, I wanted to highlight the people who have been lost in Gaza, who have been unalived. A person called Petra, she's a Palestinian woman. She has started this movement basically to humanize Gazans and has been posting photos of each individual person who has been unalived and their background stories as well. If people know Petra, please invite her to this live if she's awake right now. But she's also pregnant, she has a family, so she's going through it, but she's the one who started this movement, and I really wanted to try to read a couple of stories every live that belongs to this project. And so Jones, if you can make me the big screen, I will start showing photos of people and reading their...
You can make yourself the big screen.
Per, okay. Okay. So bear with me. Gonna try to make this work. Oh dear, my screen is lagging. 1 second. Okay.
Thank you, reader.
Okay. So, the first person is Razan Malik Zarab. A 19-year-old girl, had a beautiful heart and soul. She was incredibly spontaneous and had a lovely smile. She dreamed of wearing a doctor's coat, which is why she specialized in nursing at Al-Isra University. She was extremely excited to begin studying her chosen field, which had been her lifelong dream. However, the Zionist occupation stole Razan's dream. On April the 1st, during the night of the 22nd of Ramadan, precisely at 11:47, the occupation forces targeted Razan's family home. She quickly rushed to save her family, but she suffered burns and had her leg amputated. Afterward, we received the heartbreaking news that Razan and her entire family had been martyred. I refuse to believe the reality that my friend is gone, that she is no longer with us, said her friends. She was my soulmate and companion in life. I pray to God grants her and her family mercy. The second story is of Adam.
Hold on, Athena. Hey, Jones, do you do me a favor? Can you raise up your sticker or put it across the boxes because it's covering a portion of the screen? Thank you. Now we can see him. I'm sorry, Athena. Go ahead, beloved.
Adam is not just a number. He must remain alive as long as we are still alive. May Allah have mercy on you, my dear friend, and may He forgive you and make you an intercessor for us on the day of judgment. And may Allah suffice us, and He is the best disposer of affairs against all those who caused our destruction, displacement, and death. The martyr Adam Ismail Abdul Hafiz al-Qatrawi, nicknamed Abu Sama, the Falcon, aged 22. Adam was one of the bravest and best young men, very helpful, and his good reputation preceded him wherever he went. Adam was loved by all his friends, especially the youth of the neighborhood. We used to meet and hang out daily until this war came and separated us, taking many loved ones from us. He was martyred on November 22nd, 2023. Yusuf's friend speaks about him. My friend, the martyr Yusuf Walid Lamghari, 22 years old, graduated from university just 1 month before the start of the war in Gaza. He specialized in agricultural engineering and dreamed of a beautiful future and a dignified life. Our last video call brought us together and we laughed a lot. I told him that I had eaten chicken and he jokingly replied that he would eat it in heaven due to its high price, scarcity, and quality in the markets. After ending the call between us, I received the news of his martyrdom on October the 25th. He was going to the market with his friend when they were martyred after being targeted by the occupation forces in a crowded market. Yusuf was buried alongside his friend in the same place. This is going to be a very tough one. Y'all. Bear with me if I get emotional. Her father named her Carmel after Mount Carmel in Haifa, hoping to be able to visit one day when Palestine is free. Carmel, an innocent 1-month-old child, was born and martyred in the war. A promising future and beautiful dreams awaited her, but she was unalived by Israeli missiles on February the 22nd, 2024. And lastly, many of you, after the Rafah massacre, might have seen horrific footage of a headless baby. That footage was spread all over Twitter. And if you had seen that footage of the headless baby, that headless baby had a name. Ahmed al-Najjar, 1.5 years old, was the baby Israel beheaded the night of the tents massacre in Rafah. He loved trampolines, balls, and playing with cats. They never found his head and buried him without it. He was wearing black pants and an orange shirt when he was unalived. His left leg was amputated in the blast. His father used to call him Boba or baby because he was the youngest of his siblings. Ahmed used to call potatoes babatata and he called shekels tatels. His mother, his sister Huda, and his sister Arkan were all martyred that night. Huda and Ahmed were put in the same body bag. His brothers, Muhammad 13 and Yamin 8, both saw his body that night. They both visibly traumatized and can't talk about their little brother without bursting into tears. Whenever I see the trampoline and his other stuff, his ball and the other things he played with, I feel sad. I miss him. I miss all of them. And when I miss them, I pray for God to have mercy on them and to grant them heaven, said his brother Muhammad. And I need y'all to know that all these people I showed y'all are not a number, are not a statistic. They had families and communities that loved them and cherished them. They had mothers who carried them for 9 months and went through childbirth and birthed them. They had goals and dreams that were snuffed by a disgusting colonial Zionist occupation that is wreaking havoc on Palestinians. And this is precisely why we are hosting these lives, to focus on the lives that are being snuffed. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Athena. I appreciate you. That's it's hard to take all of that in. That's a lot. Bobby, good morning. How are you? Have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
Good morning. I have, thank you. I hope you're good. Happy Juneteenth.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for this. I hope you've had some water and looked after yourself too. In this difficult times, we all need to. It's hard to when we know the people of Palestine haven't got a choice. They haven't got clean water. They haven't got food. They haven't got a home to even call home. They're sleeping in tents while £2,000 booms are dropping on them. Like it's what's happening for the last 208 months, 250 plus days, and we're still here talking about it. It's crazy to think about. It's really not hard to see what's going on. The UN have brought out 2 reports, one a few weeks ago and one today, I believe, that even the word extermination is in it, like twice now. The extermination of Palestinians. And I've been saying that for the last 8 months now. And some of my profiles you would see on my bio, I do mention that. I do believe Zionism is the cancer that is exterminating the Palestinians. And we are seeing a literal extermination of a people. And it's crazy to sit and watch while we're helpless. Like no matter how much we educate and tell the world, it's like the leaders just are happy watching it happen. It's one Zionist told me Zionism means happiness. To me, Zionism is the death and destruction of my people, the Palestinian people. And that's what we've seen in the last 8 months. And it don't seem like it's stopping, to be honest with you. Things are intensifying. Can someone mute, please? It's intensifying and intensifying. Nothing seems like it's slowing down. Watching people walking and booms dropping on them. Seen too many videos like that. It's not a coincidence, or it's not an accident no more. How many accidents can one I don't know, one entity or one person, one corporation, one state, whatever you want to call it, how much accidents can they make? Like every time something happens, it's like an accident. Oops, oopsie daisy. We're sorry about that. And then they go do the same thing the next day, and again and again. But thank you for the time to talk about it, to educate the world exactly what's happening. This ain't nothing new to us Palestinians. We have been going through this for the last 76 years. Sometimes less, sometimes more. This is one of the worst. We can say this is one of the worst. This is similar to 1948 when they occupied our land, when they displaced and unalived my family and displaced my grandparents with 3 kids while she was pregnant. And this ain't stopped. Some families in Gaza have been displaced more than 4 times. And more than that, we can't even keep count. And it has gone on for more than 76 years. It's just the occupation of them taking the land. It's gone on for about 100 years of this. That's when they decided, these Europeans decided to come and replace us. And I will say replace us, because that's what they planned to do. Even Ben Gurion, one of their first prime ministers, a known T, said we are here to replace the Arabs. And that's what they've done. They've taken our land, they've taken our culture, They've taken our food. They've taken our music. They're erasing us. They've erased us from history. They're trying to erase us from earth. And you can see that. They ain't got nothing because they are European. These people that set up the land are from different parts of the world. They've got a made up language. Everything in Israel is synthetic. It's fake. None of it is real. They've had to revive a dead language to unite themselves, to make them feel like they are united towards one cause, to one culture. But they're a religion that anyone could contribute to and be indigenous to my homeland. That we have been there for thousands and thousands of years. We still hold traditions still from today that date back to the Canaanites, the land of olive oil. This was never the land of milk and honey. It was the land of olive oil. And it's still the land of olive oil because we cherish the native trees of the land, the olive trees of the land that live thousands of years, that need looking after. That we have a weekly festival, a harvest week for our olives, something that they would have if they was indigenous to our land. They have destroyed more than 1.2 million olive trees while they plant a eucalyptus trees that are native to Australia. They plant pine trees that are native to Europe. Like, it should show you these people are not from our lands. They have come as foreigners. They have brought trees that are foreign to the land, that don't help the ecosystem. And all they've been doing is raping and pillaging my people. And right now we are seeing a purge, a real purge of the Palestinians, an extermination, a final solution of my people. And I'm thankful for the time, thankful for the space to be able to talk about it and educate the hundreds of people that want to learn, that are willing to learn, that want to listen. Thank you for listening to me. Sorry about the long monologue. I do try not to do them
No,
often.
you don't have to apologize at all. Listen, your voices deserve to be heard, and I'm going to give you all the time that you need to make that happen.
No, I appreciate it. I really do. I like your lives. I've listened to you many times, and I'm glad you're back at it and talking about Palestine again. I really appreciate it. Thank you for this. Thank you, Athena, for making this happen. Really appreciate it because we can't stop talking while it's still happening.
I just want to one more time talk about Athena. Athena, do you want to talk about what you have going on, and then direct you have your background, and then we'll direct people to the link in the bio once again. Go ahead.
Yes. So this is going to be a project. This is the Mr. Jones, thank you so much. This is going to be the debut of the project. It's going to be a series of lives. I've asked a bunch of TikTok creators who are very dear to me. They're friends of mine, people that I've known them for a long time. I've asked them if they wanted to participate in this project, and they thankfully, kindly agreed to use their platform to talk about this. This is the first set of lives for Juneteenth to kind of emphasize Black and Palestinian unity and solidarity, because historically Black and Palestinian people have always worked together. They have always, Mike, if you want to talk about this, and come up anyways, they have always worked together. This set of lives for today are going to be fundraisers and a debate. Dontrell was very kind enough to offer up or to auction off a beautiful painting that he did
for
Palestine.
I have it. Let me send it on the screen. I'm sorry. I meant to send it to my phone earlier. Hold on one second. Oh, here we go. Well, here I'll just show it really quickly. Do you mind if I take the big screen back for just a
It's
second?
okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course.
Oh shucks. Having another boomer moment. I wish I wasn't so bad at this. This is the painting. Is an amazing piece. You can go to the link in my bio to purchase your ticket. Tickets are $50. We'll do a drawing at the end of the week. What's today? Wednesday. I think we'll do the drawing on Friday. And you can buy as many tickets as you would like. A one-of-a-kind, amazing piece. If you go to Art Aid Auction, it's like the second link in my, it might be the first or second link in my bio. But go there, check it out, buy your ticket. Dantrell Bonet Boone is the artist who painted it. World-renowned artist, has been featured on the cover of Time magazine. So yeah, go check it out. Hold on one second. Hold on, I'm coming, sweetheart. Okay, there's a spider in the house, so she's freaking out. All right. Here,
They don't let us have any fun.
No, I know. I'm gonna give you the big screen back, and I'm gonna go deal with the spider. I'm gonna go deal with the spider. I'll be back.
It's okay. So Dontrell has been incredibly kind enough to auction off his beautiful painting that he did for Palestine, the star in the eyes, and the American flag is to show that yes, Israel might be committing a genocide, but it is being aided by America. And Palestinians in Gaza are watching us, basically, are watching Americans in America. That's what the star stands for. So the fundraiser has started. Liv and Crow and Arrow or Whisper were very kind enough to set up a website, which is in Mr. Jones' bio, where you can purchase a link, and all the proceeds, all the money is going directly to Gaza. I will see through it that it goes to Gaza. So every single penny will go through Gaza. Crow, not crying arrow, Crow and Arrow, will go to Gaza. The second part of the fundraiser will be run by Parker tonight at around, or later on today, at about 12 to 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He's also going to run a fundraiser while also talking about Palestine as a topic. So this is going to be a project. The project is called From the River Across the Sea. It is going to try to mobilize people into really doing something. I have a call to action to issue. Many of you have known me for years on Debate Talk, and I'm asking y'all a favor. That favor that I'm asking is you participate in this call to action with me. That call to action is, number one, raise awareness. Talk about this issue amongst your family, your community, on social media, at your workplace. Continue talking to people about this to show them the urgency of what's going on. This is a very rapidly developing G-side as well. Number two, go to the protests, please. Number three, pressure your representatives. Call them, email them, show up at their office, show them that they will find no peace while they're actively funding a G-side. Number four, support student encampments. Either participate in an encampment if you're still a student. If you're not a student anymore, provide refreshments, provide words of encouragement, maybe visit your student encampments as well, to show the students that that you are there, that you support them as well. Number five, boycott.
Hey, let me pause you one. Let me pause you for just a second. Hey, Mike, I'm gonna mute you now. I invited you up. Nobody's about to fit and argue with you in the fucking comments. So now you have no voice here. Okay? All right.
Exactly. Boycott any corporation that supports the Zionist occupation and its G-side. boycott any corporation. If you go online, you look up the BDS movement. Look up the BDS movement, right? Push your worker unions as well to get involved. Number 6, vote. Vote at the local level as well. Vote out any politician at the local level so you can make a difference as well, who would be willing to support a G-side. I beg you, this is the favor I'm going to ask. I don't ask many favors, but this is the favor I'm going to ask of y'all. Please, please work on this call to action with me. This is the first live with Mr. Jones. Parker's going to host the live, and in the coming days and in the coming weeks, we're going to host more lives as well under the banner of From the River Across the Sea.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I was gonna offer that for a while now, but I was thinking of essentially writing a draft of an email that.
There actually is one. It's defund-israel.com. It's super simple. You just put your zip code in and it automatically populates what's it called? A template for you to email. So I literally send 10 every morning. You just put your zip code in there and it automatically sends those emails out for you to every representative that's in your, area.
So
but it's defund-israel.com.
Okay. I'm gonna put that in my link tree then as well, so people have access to it, and Jones will probably too then.
Gotcha. So just so we're clear, because some people are asking, you know what I'm saying, about me going to Disney the other day. I do follow the BDS website, and it tells you who to actively boycott and who to pressure. Yes, I took my kids to ride the Tiana ride. I canceled my subscription to Disney Plus. However, I have season passes to Disney that I bought, you know what I'm saying? And they already have my money.
Jones?
Yeah.
Just with all due respect, as a single mom living in the States, it's very hard to boycott every single thing on that list. So I don't understand why anyone, what are you boycotting before you
exactly that? Exactly that. Like, I haven't eaten at a Chick-fil-A in over a decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody knows me, I boycott fucking everything.
Exactly. So you do what you can. That's all that we ask, to be honest, is you do what you can.
So there's that.
Maybe if I can ask the audience.
I don't go to Starbucks. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been to
maybe if I can ask, like, there are 549 people here. After what Ahlam, Janine, and Bobby have shared, who are all Palestinians in the diaspora. Reason of them being in the diaspora is Israel. But after everything that they have shared, and after all the stories that I have shared, my question would be, if there are any pro-Israelis here, why do you support Israel?
Yeah, I agree. Here, I just want to really quickly go after, show everybody what it says on the BDS movement website. Hold on. So that everybody can see for themselves and make your own determinations. You decide what, you know what I'm saying, that you're going to boycott, what you're going to pressure, so on and so forth. But I think that everybody should have. So these are the consumer boycott targets. These are the divestment and exclusion targets. So that's if you have, money invested with these companies. These are the pressure targets. So that means, you know what I'm saying, like, reach out to them, reach out to their representatives, let them know that you don't agree with their support, so on and so forth. And then these are other, boycott targets like McDonald's, Domino's, Papa John's, Burger King, Wix, Pizza Hut, which, I don't eat in any of those places either. Anyway, so there you are.
Just to, if you want to show that screen again.
Oh, sorry.
Mr.
Yeah.
Jones, the boycott movement is mainly focused. That's why they have it broken up into sections. So their main focus right now is the consumer boycott targets, which are like Puma, Remax, and such. The Amazon, Google, Disney, those haven't hit the priority yet. They're pressure targets, but they haven't hit the priority. If you can boycott them, please boycott them. It's guys, we live in America. It's capitalism. We need these things sometimes. So you can't fault each other, and nobody should feel guilty if they need it. And hello, Amazon is life right now. So I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Also, like, even for example, Samsung, they just recently pulled out of Israel. So it's the pressure as well. It's, boycotting them, but it's also the public pressure that we put on these companies, the pressure to, make them see that they're helping with these atrocities. They're helping to fund these atrocities. Ben and Jerry's, years ago, I remember, we all boycotted Ben and Jerry's because they would take water from the West Bank to create the ice cream within Israel. They had a factory there. They pulled that factory out. Starbucks, I was just there actually in August and September. And in Israel, not one Starbucks anymore. Since years ago, I don't remember which year they pulled out. But the owner still funds Israel. Don't get that confused. However, the company itself does not because of that, public pressure. And that's what we need to remember too. It's not just, not buying. It's also telling the people around you. I bet 50% of these people who, are trying to call others out didn't even tell their mom and dad. Their
Right.
mom and dad are probably out here still drinking Starbucks, and they're like, boycott. Why aren't you boycotting?
Yeah.
Tell your family too. Tell everyone around you.
Also, this is something that I think that a lot of people may not know, but Disney was accused of being anti-Semitic for eons. I mean, like literally for eons. They were accused of being anti-Semitic. When October 7th happened, they sent over money for humanitarian aid for all of those who were affected. And I believe that they thought that they were making a move to erase their anti-Semitic past. But that shit fell flat on its face. They've said nothing else about Israel nor sent any money since then. Not saying that, you know what I'm saying, they're a great company. I'm just saying that it's important that you know the history.
And for those of you who think that the boycotts aren't working, I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that over the course of the last few years, Starbucks has pulled out of malls and airports. They can no longer afford to carry themselves and pay the rent in malls and airports. They're just opening up single solitary confinement, solitary locations because of the fact that they cannot afford the rent in other places. So the boycotts are working. They're just taking their time.
Yes, exactly. So I wanted to ask that question again. If you are in this live and you support Israel, why? Why do you support Israel? I'd like you to request and answer that question.
Hey, Brett, you got a shit ton of background noise, bro. You like working on a machine?
I live in a camper, so it's the air conditioning.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. My apologies. I was like, man, what is that? What did you come up to add? And have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
Yes, sir. And happy Juneteenth to everyone.
Thank you so much.
I say I've talked to you on here before. I live out here in the country, and like we get really one-sided news out here, and I think the side we get. And like I learned a lot listening to y'all this morning about especially the Palestinian side of things, and it's wow.
Hey, Brett, did you get my email?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, check. Because didn't you ask me? You had asked me about the building a co-op, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I sent you the email. I emailed it to you last week. It's a PDF with all the information that you need.
Yeah, I need to check. I've been having to take them to the doctors and stuff, and I had the wheel literally flew off my truck and the other day and had an accident, so it's been a week.
No, I understand. Hey, well, whenever you get around to it, I sent you the information as promised. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I don't know a lot on this topic. I'm trying to get to get to where I have knowledge on it. Because, like I said, out here they tell us, and like I said, please, no one taking offense to this. I'm just repeating what they come out here. You get, excuse me for this, but we get MAGA come out here and they tell us, oh, these people from over here, they won't come over here. They hate you. They want you dead. Blah blah blah. And these poor folks out here, they believe that because they don't know no better. And no one ever takes time to come out here to rural areas and try to defuse the brainwashing that goes on out here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you.
I was traveling.
Go ahead, Kiara, you got it.
No, I was traveling to the south to see family, and the amount of Israeli flags I've seen hung at churches and in people's backyards made me visibly sick. And I have to keep reminding myself that it is definitely indoctrination there, and it's due to a lack of education that people are thinking the things that they think. They've been conditioned to hate brown people, specifically Muslims in general. That's what they've been trained to do because they think it interferes with their belief in their Christianity. Nevertheless, I don't think that we can excuse ignorance because that has always led to terrible atrocities. And I mean, I started just talking about it gently in some ways, approaching people in more of a, well, what would you do as a patriot that believes in 2A if somebody would invade your country? And then, I mean, they gave the answer. They gave the answer. And I'm like, well, can we then not similarly apply that to the Palestinians, that they want their land back and that they want to fight the intruders, the colonizers? And I don't know, that was kind of that's how you have to approach it in some ways. You have to make it make sense for them.
I guess so Brett, were you here when I issued the call to action?
I've been on here for about a little over an hour or so.
Okay, so you heard the call to action, right? You basically said that where you live, they get a very one-sided perspective into everything. So I guess my question would be, do you think you could start having those conversations with your community, with your family members, maybe, to kind of give them an awakening?
My family are kind of outcasts around here because we've always been pretty progressive. We're hillbillies, but we're not stupid. But we're like the little spot of blue in a sea of red. But we've tried to talk to other people and stuff around here and try to, but yeah, I'm trying to get my words right. The indoctrination around here of unnecessary hatred is so deep.
Where did Brett say he was from again? I'm sorry.
I'm from the what's called the Cumberland Plateau in eastern Tennessee. We're kind of at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, the Smoky Mountains.
You don't have to, thank you. You know, because we have to also understand that there's a large majority of Christian Zionists that advocate for Israel only because of their religious beliefs that the end of days will formulate at Israel's inception and the building of the new temple. And that's why a lot of people, especially within the Bible Belt, believe in and support Israel.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing over here, just because the word Israel is in the Bible. Mm-hmm. A lot of them here have only read the title, but that's a whole other matter.
Yeah, but it also relates to just and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say this, white supremacist ideology where we're allowed to come and take over you know, we're better than you. You guys are minuscule in the scheme of things because you're not.
Oh, there's still a community up here called Hanging Limb, if it tells you anything about where I live.
But if you have any questions,
Yo, Hanging Limb is wild as a name for a place. Like, that's nuts.
It's
Yeah, and it's, you know, you would think someone would advocate to change that, but here we are.
That goes to show.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sorry, Janine. If there are any questions that you might have, I bet Ahlam and Janine would be open to responding to you, Brett.
Well, I mean, I ain't really know. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I was wondering about, y'all have really covered. Like, I mean, I was wondering, you know, because I've heard stories about, you know, kids getting unalived, and you know, when you put faces with stories, you know, it makes it a lot more real, and you know, it just, you know, slaps you in the face with it. I mean, it's one thing, you know, soldiers in a war zone, but I mean, when you have innocent children or innocent people in general, but especially children, I mean, it's just, I can't even wrap my head around it. That's just, that's not how anyone could even conceivably tolerate that.
It's disgusting, yeah. It is. And you know what the Israelis say when, you know, it's questioned, like, why are they, you know, unaliving children? Have you ever heard what they say?
No, I don't see how anyone could say anything to justify that. That's beyond the pale.
Mm-hmm. There is no justification, but they say that they're going to grow up to be future T's. That's the ideology they have.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. It's disgusting, honestly. It's very sad. And then they unalive the women because they're going to give birth to those future T's. You know? That's the mentality that they have, is that resistance is T'ism, but colonization is their right from God.
Hey, really quickly, guys, I got to interrupt for just a minute. Hey, guys, listen, we are still way behind on the taps and the shares. I need you guys to take like the next couple of minutes and all collectively tap. There's over 600 people in here, so if all of you tap, you know, a couple hundred times, then we should be in the mid 200s. So please tap that screen. Let's make sure that we are being interactive in the space. Like I said, there's tons of education to be here. I just updated Palestinian tickets to show that. Okay, guys. So if you go to the link in my bio, they just updated the site so that when you click the link, it'll show you the plate that is being auctioned off currently. I'll show it to you guys again. Hold on a second. I'll show it to you guys one more time. This is the plate that is being auctioned off in support of the Palestinian people. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork. The tickets are $50 each. And again, you can go to artaidauction.com in my bio in order to buy your tickets. And you can buy as many tickets as you'd like. The more that you buy, the more help and aid will be going to the Palestinian people. Go ahead. I don't remember who was speaking, but go ahead, finish your statement.
That's crazy to say that every baby is a potential terrorist. That's like saying that every puppy is going to be a mad dog.
Right.
Exactly. It's gross rhetoric, you know? It's genocidal rhetoric. That's what it is. It's justification for their crimes.
Any human being has capacity to be anything, whether or not they're a Palestinian, a Canadian, or a whatever.
Yeah. Can I ask the Palestinians a question? So you talked about displacement before, and the Nakba in 1947 and 48, which basically means catastrophe in Arabic. My question is, what happened to the people who were displaced? Were they able to go back to their homes after everything ended? Where are the displaced people? Can you share some perspectives into the displaced people of the Nakba and maybe the Nexa as well?
So after between November of 1947 and May 15th, 1948, and so on, it's the Nakba never ended. It's still happening till today. Majority of the Palestinians within proper Israel were displaced to surrounding villages or surrounding Arab countries such as Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria and Egypt. The majority, the reason why the population of Gaza is so dense is because a lot of the Palestinians in diaspora are residing there right now as refugees. The reason, oh, I forgot what the second question was. Within my village, our village was not displaced. We did welcome the Palestinians of 1948 into our village, and the majority of them reside in a refugee camp just outside called Al Amari camp. The other Palestinians were promised the right to return by the UN in Resolution 194. However, because of the absentee what absentee property law, they were not allowed to return back into their homes. It's the law, and I'm paraphrasing, but the law states that if a Palestinian were to leave their home, they are not allowed the right to go back to it. They can move. They were the Palestinians that were allowed to return to 1948. They were allowed to move and reside in a home out somewhere else, but not in the home that they were originally forced out of.
Yeah, and there are Gazans. So in Gaza, right, a lot of the people who were displaced from 48, they went to Gaza, they went to the West Bank. There are Gazans who were now displaced from the north to the south, and now they're being pushed from the south to Rafah. That's 4 times. How do you get displaced 4 times? And on top of that, think of it this way. What country, if you as an American have actually, no, America's probably not the best example. Okay, think of a country, right, where the indigenous population of that country are living in refugee camps in their own country, that they are indigenous to. That's not natural. That's not normal. You know, they shouldn't have refugee camps in their own country. How are you a refugee in your own country still? Like, it's that simple. That's how it has to be thought of. It's unnatural for them to be refugees in their own home. And that's what Israel has done to us.
And I've noticed, like, I've been watching like a lot of videos from Gaza, videos on the ground, people that posted them. I've watched videos of Palestinian children doing the debka, and one thing I noticed is the diversity in Palestinians. I mean, on the one side, you see blonde-haired, blue-eyed Palestinians. On the other side, you see ginger Palestinians. On the other side, you see black Palestinians. And especially the black Palestinians, to me, was just incredibly fascinating, because usually when people think Arab is a race, and then they think, oh, there's only one kind of Arab, and have a very reductionist perspective of what an Arab should look like or who an Arab should be. So could you maybe, like, I don't know, like, share some insight into like black Palestinians? Like, who are they? Like, are they only in Gaza, or is it all over Palestine? Just like some information about that, because especially it being Juneteenth, I think it's very interesting to see how in every single country or on every single continent there are somehow black people. We're just everywhere, I guess.
Well, so there is a community of Afro-Palestinians within Palestine, and the reason for that is during pilgrimage, the Muslims of countries were making pilgrimage to Mecca, and then on their way back, they would visit Al-Aqsa Mosque, and some chose to stay and integrate with the Palestinian society. Some chose to go home. After 1948, with the stricter border laws, many were forced to stay, and that's when they created the Afro-Palestinian community, which many people don't know about it. Two very prominent people within the Afro-Palestinian community are Ali Jidda and Fatima Bernawi, and those Ali Jidda actually joined the PFLP movement in the early stages during the 1967 war, when these two particularly participated in the violent resistance against the occupation. And yeah, it's a really it's I know it's an I'm sorry. Hold on.
No, it's okay.
I want to clarify that even like terms, right? Like Afro-Palestinian, those are like American-made terms. Everyone for like in Palestine, everyone's Palestinian regardless of color. Like there's genuinely when we say that there is no difference for Palestinians, it's because there really isn't. Like there really is, I mean, like there's no difference, you know? We all, especially because of the Israeli atrocities, we all get unalived the same. We all get unalived equally. Within Israel, there are differences. Within Israel, there is racism. There's racism if you are a Ethiopian Jew. There's racism if you are a Black Palestinian. There's racism if you're Palestinian. There's racism if you're a white Palestinian, if you're an olive Palestinian. It's for them, yes, there are differences. For us, we're all gonna get unalived equally by them, you know? So it doesn't, I remember when I first heard the term like here, right? Where they're like, oh, I don't see color. I understand the ignorance of that statement here in America from the people who say that statement. But in Palestine, for us, we truly don't. We're all the same. We're all neighbors. We're all equals.
We don't really we don't really differentiate between, and I was telling Kobe last night, like I have a mix. It's like she said, there is we are extremely diverse, and you can see that in like my children, right? So I have one child who's yes, right now, Mama. I have the second he hears me talking, he needs me. I'm so sorry, guys. This is why I'm quiet. But yeah, so I have one child who looks, she has blonde hair, blue eyes, and I have another child who's extremely Levantian in features with olive skin. So that's exactly that's what Kobe was saying. Very diverse, and that's why we don't really differentiate based on color. And yeah.
Thank you so much for answering those questions.
Hey, Athena, do you like this background for later? I was just testing it out.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Oh, for Parker? Or for who?
I mean, well, when Parker will be on in a little bit, but yeah, I'm just saying, do you like it for like after Dangerously Early's over? So like around noon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That sounds good.
It's a gorgeous background.
Literally, please.
Mr. Jones,
Jones is so creative.
Top one? What's the very top flag?
Congo, Haiti, Sudan. So Congo's down there, the blue one.
Congo
Sudan
and Haiti,
is up there.
Oh, I
Haiti's
didn't know
right
the
there.
Sudanese
Palestine.
flag.
Yeah.
It has a star? I didn't know that it had the star. My bad. That's what confused me.
Mary, good morning. Have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
Good morning. You know what? I have not, and I should, and I'm going to. I will do that right after this. I appreciate you guys for allowing me up. I appreciate every single one of you for being here and everything that you're talking about and raising awareness for. What I do is I host
chat. I didn't
lives
mean to block the screen.
for families to share their story and have a safe space to be humanized for a moment. I give them individual lives and I also give group lives, and I also advocate for them just outside, period. But what I appreciate is you guys giving suggestions and bringing awareness to the other parts of it, like the divestment and how they can take action in other ways. I welcome anybody in this live to come and, mention something like that while we have families and people in there supporting families to hear these things. I also really implore anybody in this live period to come and put a face to those numbers. Here, if you're feeling unsure about where you stand on this issue, if you're still saying it's a political issue, if you're still saying any of these things, come and hear these families. Come and hear their pain when they're talking about having to run from place to place to place and having their homes destroyed and their families ripped apart. Literally, almost every single family I'm helping has their families entirely scattered everywhere, and they're terrified every day. And we can hear everything behind them that they're going through every moment. And I just really, we need to be way more louder and get more people to understand what's truly happening, because they're putting out ads now. And I caught a live, I believe it was the day before yesterday. And I took a screenshot of it, so I would definitely share it anytime. But they're putting an ad out saying that there's no innocent civilians at all, that all of them participated in October 7th, and that like they're pushing this narrative way harder than they ever did. And it is disgusting because they're defending the fact that children can be annihilated like this because they're going to grow into, I can't say the word here, but tease. And we just all need to really be supporting each other. Yeah, I know. I see in the comments, it's shocking. Could I actually share the screenshot so that you guys can see what the background of this live was, so that you can see what they're pushing out there, if you don't mind?
If it's nothing that could take the live down, then
I don't think
even if it does, we'll just go to the other account. But
okay.
But go ahead.
Jones has 0 fucks now at this point with TikTok. Like, our patience is over.
All right, guys, I'm grabbing it. 1 second. You see this?
Yeah, that's the basic rhetoric that we've been hearing. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You hide our hostages in your homes. You are not innocent civilians. You are teased.
And as I'm sitting here every single day, I mean, I literally witnessed one of my families, a missile went right at their camp, and her sister, the main person that I was talking with and I communicate with, her sister and her children were unalived. We witnessed it on a live. She was scared and she asked if we could go live so we could talk with her and she could feel like she was with us. And we witnessed that. And to get off and see this type of live, it just absolutely destroys me, because most of these people have never even heard of the age group or seen them or anything. And this is the narrative that they are pushing so hard. Like I said, Izzy has put an ad on all social media that says this exact thing, that there's nobody that's innocent. And it's just so important, you guys, that we humanize every single one of these families, because they're doing this so rapidly and aggressively to make sure that people don't believe that there could possibly be anybody innocent there. We're talking about thousands and thousands of people and children every day. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak. I followed all of you. I support all of you guys, and I appreciate you.
Can we talk about the median age of Palestinian citizens, like how old they actually are? When Hamas was was made to be leadership for the Palestinian people, like in reference to the age of the current citizens. You know, maybe some statistics on who actually was even around to put them in place.
Like almost nobody. The average citizen in Gaza is 18 years old.
44% are under the age of 14.
And at the time of the last election was in 2006, and at that time it was the majority of it was children. So whoever voted for Hamas, whoever voted Hamas into government right now is well over the age to be blaming them for what's happening. In addition to that, I would like to strongly emphasize that Hamas wouldn't be a violent resistant group if it wasn't for occupation and oppression and apartheid. I personally, Janine, do not blame H Group for what's going on. They are the only people standing up for us at this point on the ground, and I see nothing wrong. Do I condone the unaliving of innocent civilians? Absolutely not. Do I advocate for a violent resistance? Yes, I do, because we've tried. We've tried peace, and no one's listening.
I don't. I'm like pro Hamas as well. And it's not out of the reason that I just think that they can exist in a vacuum. They can only exist because of the occupation and because of the genocide and because of the unaliving and the apartheid that has been going on for decades. That's why I'm pro.
Yeah, you literally can't tell a people, you know what I'm saying, an oppressed people how to liberate themselves. Like you can't tell a group that quite literally has been existing in an open air prison how to resist their imprisonment.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, if you want Hamas to go away, then give the Palestinians their land back, and then we can all collectively hold hands and condone Hamas. Once we give them their land back.
H Group themselves, Hamas themselves say that I have to get used to being able to say it. Hamas themselves say that if you find us complicit in any war crimes, we will punish those responsible. And so that's why I look to them for liberating us, because they don't shy away from taking accountability for their actions. Whereas you have Israel that denies any and all war crimes that are put forth against them.
Yeah, and if you look at the hostages too, like the treatment is like vastly different. Like look at the hostages that were held by Hamas versus the hostages that were held by the IDF, worlds apart. So even like the freedom fighters are not trying to specifically target children, unlike Israel does.
I want to read something that somebody sent me. I don't agree with muting someone that says, I'm Yisrael Chai in your live. Freedom of speech is important. There's nothing offensive about that phrase. Jewish people need voices too. Please think about this. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not anti-Semitic. I am not anti-Jewish people. I am anti the state of Israel. I am anti its existence and its government. I always have been. I always will be. In addition to that, and I say this with my whole chest, I want you to understand this. I do not believe in freedom of speech. You have zero freedom of speech here. I am not the U.S. government. I do not give a fuck whether it bothers you or not. You can kick rocks. If you don't like it, don't stay here. You can block me. You know what I'm saying? You cannot come on my lives. I do not care. Being antagonistic in my life is not going to be accepted. Period. I do not care about your feelings. And I mean that. With every single cell in my body, I do not care about your feelings. You have no freedom of speech here.
Love you, Mr. Jones. Just like those college students in the encampments didn't have freedom of speech, I guess you don't have freedom of speech here.
I wanted to point out, Mr. Jones, I hope you noticed that, I don't know if it was voluntary or involuntary, but when you were explaining that, you had to explain that you don't have anything against Jewish people. The fact that Israel has conflated Judaism with their apartheid state is disgusting.
Yeah.
You know,
Religion,
I'm personally
ethnicity.
Muslim, so
yeah. The religion, the ethnicity, and the government are not one and the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I had
Exactly.
$1 every time I was called a anti-Semite for speaking out against Israel and being compared to Nazis, and I'm saying this again, and this is like the last time, and I don't know if you don't comprehend it by now, I cannot help you. Like, you're intellectually just not on the same level as me, and I can't do any more than that. Hating somebody for being Jewish is very different than hating somebody for committing atrocities that happens to be Jewish.
Right. Exactly
Exactly.
that.
And actually,
Also,
Jimad in the comments, I don't know if you see him, is Jam okay? He's the one who said it best, and I took it from him, and I love it so much. He said, "We didn't get to choose our occupiers. We didn't get to choose our oppressors." You know, that's not any indication from us. It's not our fault that
Thank you, Rebel
any of
Cam.
this is happening, you know? I love that he said that. That was my favorite.
I think the TikTok advocate and social Smitty, like Smitty, I think it came in first, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you for being
Have been
patient,
waiting on the
guys.
panel
Yeah.
for a
I
long time. So
yeah, one more second. Well, we typically try to allow women and femme presenting people's voices be heard first, and I'm sure Social Smitty will understand that. But I just want to read this from one of our Tough Fam members, who happens to be Jewish. They asked me to read this to everybody. I know it is very important to hear all the voices of the people of Palestine. There are family members from my mother's side that I will never know much about because they were exterminated during the Holocaust. As a Jewish person, I cannot sit by and not let my voice be heard to stop another genocide and the oppression of all people. Palestine needs to be free from the Zionist regime, and we need to put pressure on Israel and, more importantly, our own government to support that. We are not free until we are all free. So
Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
I love that.
yeah, and that's why I think it's because of Jewish allies like that, anti-Zionist Jewish allies. It's also very, very important. It's our responsibility to really, really make a distinction between Zionism and Judaism. I mean, even though the Israeli government tries to actively conflate the two, and even though you have had bills that have been passed in America, in Western Europe, that also try to actively conflate the two to make any form of Palestinian resistance impossible, to label as anti-Semitic, I think it's very important to actively differentiate and distinguish between Judaism and Zionism, because Zionists have hijacked Judaism, and doesn't mean they're synonymous.
Being the TikTok advocate, have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
Good morning, and yes, I have. Thanks for having me up. I hopped into the conversation right when Brett was sharing being in an entirely red state and being just a little speck of blue there, and mentioning the
I am
hopes
so
that
sorry, TikTok advocate, but Brett, can you mute? Okay, thank you very much. Continue, please.
being a little speck of blue in such a red state, in such a red space, and who would advocate for change there? Brett, it can be you. And I know that you mentioned having your family being kind of social outcasts and maybe not feeling like you have a space to say what needs to be said, but it always has to start with somebody. Even if you stand alone, even if your voice shakes, you could step in front of your town hall, you could step in front of your city council meeting, the next one, and advocate for that change. You could be the person that starts a revolutionary mindset in your area. I live in a city that is very pro 3-letter hate groups. They're insulated here, they're protected here, like most of the United States. And any kind of different mindset that takes place here is usually responded to very violently, and it's not safe to do liberation work here. And yet we do. We do because we know we must. And one person after the next starts showing up saying, I hadn't thought about it that way. I hadn't considered that. I've only ever been taught this one mindset. Like you mentioned, it's very brainwashed in these parts of the United States, particularly white rural America is very brainwashed. We're given one perspective taught from elementary school all up into high school, and then inside of our social circles, it's one perspective. We have to
Healthcare for everybody's a scary thing, I guess. You know, rights and all of that.
I guess, well, I'm going to ask my question after Smitty gets to talk because he has been very, very patient. So, Smitty, have you drank some water and said something kind about yourself today?
Absolutely. Thank you
That
for
fixed?
that.
Does it still sound like a squirrel? Are
And
we good to go?
I'm not gonna lie, I only drank water because I know you were gonna ask me that question. So I need to be better and drink water because it's good for me, for goodness sakes. But thank you guys for having me up here. I really appreciate it and having the opportunity to just say a couple words. I guess what I wanted to focus on is talking a bit about indoctrination and how impactful indoctrination is, and tie that between the day that we celebrate Juneteenth and what's going on with the Palestinian people. The enemy of indoctrination is education. And I've always said, even from the first time that I started being a content creator, is that it is not enough when you want to deconstruct. It is not enough to just deconstruct your own stereotypes about your own group. You must also deconstruct the stereotypes of the other group because those stereotypes play together, right? As Black people, right, we understand that the oppressor will lie to us and lie to everyone about us, even though they know the truth about us, right? The oppressor told us for centuries that Black women were promiscuous, unfit mothers, or whatever it may be. But those same oppressors had those Black women raising their children, right? The oppressors told us that we were lazy, shiftless, unfit. But those same oppressors had us build their country, right? And so we realize that oppressors will put those lies in front of us and would put those lies in front of everyone, right, to hold us back. And again, if we don't also take a look at the lies they've told us about other people and deconstruct those lies, then we will then hold those other people back. For instance, can you guys hear me, by the way? Am I
Yes.
good? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Perfect. So one of the things that Alam and Janine talked about was the March of Return. And I thought that was very important to bring up. And I want to emphasize it a little bit more in the sense is that what have we heard in regards to Palestinians in America? All we've heard is that Palestinians are these violent people. They wake up in the morning, they just want to unalive Israelis, and they go to sleep. And before they go to sleep, they may want to unalive a couple more, right? But we don't hear about anything else. We never really heard about the March of Return, this nonviolent march. Why didn't we hear about it? Because it goes against the narrative that we are supposed to believe about Palestinians, right? And then when you dig in more about the March of Return, you see how problematic Israel's response to it is. Of course, they don't want you to know about it, right? They don't want you to know that Israel maimed so many people, right? Arms blown off, legs blown off, so many people that it was evident when you walk through the streets of Gaza who was at these marches and who was not. It was a significant enough amount of people that it was actually registered as a percentage of the population of these people being maimed, specifically because they were supposedly 100 feet or 50 feet into a quote unquote no-go zone. Right? I want you to think about that, right? That there were so many people maimed that it was evident, right? I want you to think about, again, we focus on violence, and violence is important to focus on. But I want you to think about today that there are Palestinians in Hebron, right, today that have to enter their home through the roof of their house. They have to enter their home through a window because the Israelis occupy the street that they live on. I want you to think about what would you do if you saw your grandmama or your mother go up a ladder and slip and fall because she's just trying to get into her house. What would you do? Right? I want you to think about what would you do, right? If you saw the IDF walking towards you and push you off the side of a road, what would you do if that was your mother or your grandmother? What would you do, right? Would you just take it day by day by day by day? What you realize, right, once you start to get education, you realize that Palestinians are some of the most patient people on the earth. You realize that what you've been taught, that these people are so violent and they just want to commit, you realize that they're actually the opposite. And so I would implore everybody today, don't take my word for it. Don't take Mr. Jones's word for it, Covey's word for it, whoever you follow. Go and read some third-party peer-reviewed studies. Go and read, right, and learn about the connections. And what you're going to see is what they have done to Black people for centuries. The same has been done to Palestinians to make us believe Palestinians are a certain type of way, a certain type of other way, right? And I would say this to my folks who are listening to this that may be Jewish or that may be pro-Israeli or whatever it may be, right? Harold Washington, when he was running for mayor in 1985 in Chicago, he said, just because I love Black people don't mean that I hate you, right? And I would say that and rephrase it for Palestinians. Just because I love Palestinians don't mean that I hate you, right? In fact, right, the moral barometer for anybody should be, how do you treat the least? How do you treat the least of those, right? I'm not going to judge you right?
That's
Or judge your
all
moral
I
compass by how
literally
well you
ever
treat
talk
white
about.
women in America.
Yeah, that's all I ever talk about. How do you treat the least of these?
Right?
Whoever the most marginalized people within a society, how do you treat them? And if you're not treating them the same way that you would expect to be treated, then you are in fact the problem. You are a bad person. Simply that.
If I
Exactly.
could add something,
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
mean to
Exactly.
interrupt.
So when we think, just one more real quick thing. When we think about that area, right, the moral barometer should be the occupation, right? So when you get on a live or when you have a discussion, right? Yes, October 7th, right, was horrible. Absolutely. Civilians were killed. But the moral barometer should be the occupation, right? If you want to judge me, right, judge me on how I feel about the occupation. Just as if in America, you want to judge me on how I treat Black people. That's what you should judge me on.
For those
so with that being said, thank you all so much.
Sorry, Mary, I'm going to let you go. But for those who are saying that Palestinian people don't like Black people, even if that were true, it's not. But even if that were true, it would just be a product, right, of global anti-Blackness spread by the vehicle of white supremacy. And so there would be no reason for them to have any issue with us unless they were indoctrinated to do so by the system that is white supremacy. And I can't hold them accountable for that.
100%. And on top of that, it's like, that's like Mr. Jones said, even if that were true, would that justify a G-side against children? Like, you're still going to allow children to be unalived? It's, I don't know.
I'll be back in just a moment, guys.
Yeah, I guess, I think, Mary, you wanted to say something? You're Palestinian, right?
I actually am a mix of things, Jewish being one of them. My family was Jewish and Russian because they were displaced that way during the Holocaust. But I also have I'm Mexican, I'm Native American.
Okay.
But also, what I wanted to add actually onto that, him saying that they are not violent. Every single family is so peaceful when they speak, even in the midst of these conditions. And I want everybody to think of like how many people they've dealt with, at least here in America, if you're an American, that you understand, like when people are in distress, they're usually pretty aggressive and violent and like, hey, I'm starving, or hey, I need this and that, and that's how they are. I have not had one single, and I've been doing this for months, and I've been talking to families, new families, the same families, all of them throughout all of this, and the middle of their stress, the middle of them being attacked, all of these things, and not one of them has been violent or aggressive to me. And again, I implore people to come and hear them speak for themselves, so you can hear their voice, so you can hear their pain, but also so you can hear their sincerity and how kind and loving these people are. And they literally just want to live. They don't want anything else other than to live. And all of them, they're doctors, they're nurses, they're teachers, they're hardworking, and I imagine, like, if we get a room full of Americans, you're probably going to be lucky to have one doctor, one nurse. And I could literally gather like 10 of my families that I help, and you're going to have like 9 doctors, a teacher, a therapist, like all of these things. They're just so kind and loving and peaceful. And if you are unsure at all, I really, really, reach out to a family, look at them, hear their voices. Like I said, come to my lives, hear them speak, and understand firsthand what they're going through. And that's all I wanted to add, was just how kind and peaceful and loving these people are. And we have been brainwashed, at least in this country, to think they're all crazy maniacs that just want to hurt us, because that's not at all. And they love us so much for standing with them and speaking and being their voices at this time. So that's all I wanted to say.
I guess for now, we can transition to maybe if anybody in the in the live, there are 604 people here. Again, this project, I came up with it because I want us to hear a Palestinian perspective. So if there are any questions that you would like to ask, feel free to request, come up, and you can ask questions. If you maybe have social anxiety and don't want to come up, you can also try to ask the questions in the comments, and I will try to relay them over to the Palestinians on the panel. And until those questions come in, maybe Ahlam or Janine, so on October 9th, when, sorry, Yoav Gallant said that he would shut off electricity, fuel, food, water, just a complete siege. That to me was baffling, I think, to many people. I mean, to me, it wasn't baffling, but to many people, it might have been baffling. People who might not have known anything about Palestine. Thank you very much for coming up, Kitty. But to a lot of people who might not have known about Palestine, and my question is, could you maybe share some points on why Israel even controls everything about not only Gaza, but the West Bank and East Jerusalem and just occupied Palestine as a whole?
Yeah. So actually funny, because I was literally going to say, first question people have to ask is, why did Israel have the capability and the power to turn off the water, to turn off the electricity? It's because they control it all. That's part of the occupation. They have an occupation on the water, on the land, and even on the air. They have control over Gaza's airspace and the West Bank as well, but mostly Gaza, because that's what they were able to do after October 7th right now, right? So Israel controls what goes in and out. They say they implemented that siege on October 9th, but truthfully, it's always been there. They've always controlled what comes in and what comes out, including the people as well. So they control everybody who goes into Gaza and everybody who comes out of Gaza. They have control over even the border, the Rafah crossing, right? Which is supposed to be Egyptian controlled and Gazan controlled. No, it's also Israeli controlled as well. But there's something called the occupation of water, and I believe it's Amnesty International, if I remember. Yeah, I
It's a
think it
report
was.
made by Amnesty International
Mhm.
where they go into depth as to how the Israeli regime occupies the resources for the Palestinian people, in a sense, to control and annex them from the. It's just another play at making Palestinians uncomfortable to the point where they need to pick up and leave. Right. There is a military order 158, which says that even though during the disengagement plan of 2004, when they removed the settlements from Gaza and they destroyed any and all agriculture and water dissolution, I can never pronounce that word right, plants, they still require that Palestinians on both sides, in the West Bank and in Gaza, they are required to file permits with the Israeli government before building any type of water wells or desalination. I'm saying it so wrong, plants. And so, yeah, as Ahlam said, they control the water and all of our resources in order to further occupy us. And yeah, oppress us. Ahlam.
Yeah. So basically, do Palestinians have control over like their import or export? Ahlam or Janine?
So,
Mhm.
like I mentioned, Israel controls what comes in and out of Gaza. And for that, as well as the West Bank, too. Like, just to
West Bank.
clarify, they control everything. They control what comes in, what comes out. They control, in Gaza specifically, they actually had a calorie count. So they would, control how much they were able to consume in a day. Obviously, they're not sitting there checking their spoon, but that means that they were able to account for everything that goes in, how much food is available to them, right? And that's what contributed to the food insecurity prior to October 7th that was in Gaza. So even before October, even before, them wanting to blame Hamas, no, there was food insecurity in Gaza, actually. I don't know the exact, percentages. I don't know the stats on that exactly, but there was food insecurity within Gaza. It was, a lot of people had suffered from that prior to October. prior to any sort of, justification from their end, trying to say, well, we had to cut it off. No, it's been cut off. It has been for a while, for a long time.
Okay, so it's like if Palestinians just have absolutely no control or no autonomy or no agency on their own land, and they have been displaced, there are refugees in their own land or in the diaspora. The refugees in the diaspora, or the Palestinians in the diaspora, are they able to go back home, apply for visa or whatever it is, and just go back and move home?
Absolutely not. Helen, did you want to take this?
No, you're good.
So my father had instilled in us at a very young age that in order one form of resistance is for us to keep going back home and staying there. But the one thing that is hindering us from actually living there is the fact that we would need a actual Palestinian citizenship. And if we did get Palestinian citizenship, then we would be confined to the laws regarding those citizenships. So for now, Palestinians in diaspora that do visit the Middle East and have a home in the Middle East, we are only able to stay there 3 months, sometimes less out of the year, depending on the mood of the person providing the visa to us. And it makes it very difficult. I would love to raise my children back home. I would pack up in a heartbeat and move them there immediately. But we aren't able to because of the laws that Israel has implemented in regards to Palestinian citizenship. And
Yeah, thank you very much. I think, Mr. Jones, some people might have missed the painting.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
idea.
you to bring it up again. So I'm gonna give you the big box again, and then I'll go over the artwork when you're done.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So there have been some people in the comments who have asked what they should do as well. So this is a debut life, Mr. Jones again. I'm gonna repeat everything I said earlier because I genuinely also appreciate Mr. Jones. All the people who have chosen to participate in this project. I came up with this project. It's called From the River Across the Sea. And I genuinely wanted to continue amplifying Palestinian voices and continue talking about this issue because of the urgency of this G-side or genocide that's happening in Gaza, but also the unalivings that are actively happening in the West Bank as well. Over 300 people have been unalived, and in East Jerusalem, people are also actively occupied. So I have decided to reach out to a couple of people who I deeply appreciate and respect and have known for a while now. I would consider friends. And they have agreed to participate with me in this live series, which, good morning, Crow, by the way. In this live series, this is going to be the beginning of the series. Today, on Juneteenth, we have 2 lives that are going to be hosted. This is not versus. This is not a debate between Mr. Jones and Parker. That's not what it is. This is just a poster showing that both of them are going to go live today. Mr. Jones went live starting at around 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Parker is going to go live at his usual time, which is about like 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
If Parker wants to debate me on capitalism, we can do that.
Ooh, I've been wanting to debate him on capitalism too.
I think it's time. We should do like a 5v1 against Parker. All the commie mommies and daddies are against the lib.
Yeah. So there are a couple of debaters and TikTok hosts who I legitimately respect who have decided to participate in this project, From the River Across the Sea again. It is paying an homage to From the River to the Sea, which is a slogan for Palestinian liberation. This is going to be a fundraiser live. I am deeply grateful for Don Trell because he gave up his painting, which Mr. Jones is going to show after I'm done with this explanation, to be auctioned off. I am deeply thankful to Crow and Live for getting the website running and starting for the ticket sale. And the website to the ticket sale for the painting you will find in Mr. Jones' link tree in his bio. The first link in his bio, in his link tree, that is the link. The money is going to go to Gaza. The money is specifically going to go to Palestinians on the ground in Gaza who will be able to bring food, water, and medication or medication to Palestinians. So the essentials, basically, as they're going through a genocide. This will just be the beginning. There are going to be multiple lives the coming weeks, and I want to issue a call to action again, because I do not want this support to just stop at the live when you turn off your TikTok or you stop using your phone. I want you to continue also mobilizing yourself outside of TikTok as well, right? So I hope this call to action mobilizes you. Number one, the call to action. I'm asking every single person here, if you guys respect me, I've been on Debate Talk for a long time now. If you guys respect me, if you guys appreciate me, I'm asking you for a favor. That favor is number one, raise awareness. Talk about this issue amongst your family members, amongst your community, on social media, etc. Raise as much awareness as possible. Go to protests. Number three, pressure your representatives. Call them, email them, show up at their office. What was the website that you talked about, Ahlam, with regards to the email? Can you briefly
It's
explain it?
defund-Israel. And all you have to do is put in your zip code. I know somebody asked if it works for Canada. I don't believe so, because you need an American zip code. But it'll put in your representatives for you automatically with your zip code, and it'll say, you just have to press send. There's a template already in there.
Just
Everything's
did it,
all
by
typed
the
out.
way. I just did it. I just took a screenshot too. Hold on, I can show people what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it, but essentially I just typed in my zip code. I'm not gonna share that, of course, but it essentially immediately opened up in my email, and it is demanding for the defunding of Israel. And it is a beautifully written text that really shows that you are, as a resident, and them as a representative are not representing you if they are in favor of Israel.
Maybe that can be added to your link tree as well, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I'm putting it into
Oh, you're putting it into. What was the website again?
defund-israel.com.
defund-israel.com. defund-israel.com. You put in your zip code, it automatically does everything for you. Let me make myself bigger again. Okay, so this is just the first step into whatever this project is. The first step is paying attention in these lives, educating yourself. The second step is mobilizing and going out and trying to mobilize your community as well. Number four, support student encampments. Whether if you are a student, try participating in your student encampments. If you're not a student anymore, you can visit your student encampments, offer them refreshments, offer them words of encouragement, show them that they have support out there. Number five, boycott. Boycott any corporation that supports Israel and the genocide. There's a BDS list. If you go to Google and you just type in BDS movement list, it will give you a list of things to boycott, to pressure, or to email, whatever it is. That list is there. Number six, voting. Vote at the local level also. Don't only wait for the presidential elections. Vote at the local level so you can get rid of politicians who actively are funding the genocides, not only in Gaza, but also in Sudan, but also in the Congo, and in general, the global South. The global South needs to be liberated. I think Mr. Jones can show the painting that has been revealed today and was beautifully painted by Dontrell. Was kind enough to auction it off.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So this
Also,
oh.
really
No,
quick, just wanted to.
Oh, there you
I'm just
are.
up
Bro,
here
I
for
didn't even
tonight.
know you were here.
Yeah.
I was like, who
So I
the
was just
fuck's
jumping up.
voice is that? Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I'm white. I can't be Jesus.
Jim Crow
Anyway,
Jesus at the very least.
Jim Crow. Please don't give me that label. That's the last thing I need. I just wanted to say, with this plate, in appreciation for the Tuff family, there's an early bird ticket sale going on right now for the Tuff family exclusively. Those tickets, there's 50 tickets available at $25 a piece. The normal tickets for this event in the support of Palestine is 50. But in support of the Tuff family, we wanted to give you guys all an opportunity because you've supported us so much. And so those are on sale right now. There are 50 of them. There are only 50 of them. After they're gone, the tickets will no longer be available, and it'll be just a standard 50 from there.
So if you go to the link in my link tree, it is Art
Right now.
Aid Auction. There's 525 of you guys in here. I know that you guys got $25 to go towards a good cause. At least some of you do, right? I know that you said there's 50 of them. I know at least 50 of you do. Go to the link in my link tree. This is your opportunity to win a one-of-a-kind original art piece. Thank you, Chelsea. Chelsea went and grabbed a ticket. But go on there, buy yourself a ticket. You might win, this one-of-a-kind art piece. Again, there's 50 of them available, and then it'll go back up to the $50 mark. Also, if you don't have the money to buy a ticket, the website also takes small donations. So there is a donate now button where you can just donate small amounts, whether it be $1, $2, so on and so forth. And lastly, go ahead.
Also, I'm not sure if this has been made aware. You can purchase more than one ticket to increase your chances of winning as well. This is not a one ticket per person event. This is just like any of the other waffles that have been done. Each one of those tickets that you purchase puts you in the bucket for a better chance. So you don't just have to buy one if you want to up your chances. If you want to do it that way, you can do it as well that way. And
the person who submits the largest donation will also get an original painting. So whoever donates the largest amount will also get an original painting.
Thank you very much. I think it's a beautiful painting. And Dontrell, who is the person who painted this plate, said that the eyes, the star, and the eyes basically shows that even though Israel is the one that is committing this genocide, it's being funded by America and by Western countries, and therefore that Palestinian child is staring at America. Not only that Palestinian child, but all the Palestinian children are staring at America for its for being complicit, for aiding and abetting a genocide.
America
I wanted to
can.
share. Oh,
Okay.
I wanted to share something though, which I shared before. And I wanted to emphasize the urgency of this and who is losing their lives. A lot of people who might have seen what happened in Rafah on the 26th of May, the massacre that happened in Rafah when a tent was blown up by Israeli airstrikes. You might have seen some footage emerging from there which was very, very horrific footage. One of the videos that had emerged from there was the video of a trigger warning, it's going to be violent, of a headless baby. That video was circulated all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over TikTok. A headless baby. Well, that headless baby was not a number. He was not a statistic. He was an actual human being who was loved by his community and family, whose life was snuffed. That baby's name was Ahmed al-Najjar, 1.5 years old. He was the baby that Israel beheaded the night of the tents massacre in Rafah. He loved trampolines, balls, and playing with cats. They never found his head and buried him without it. He was wearing black pants and an orange shirt when he was unalived. His left leg was amputated in the blast. His father used to call him Boba or baby because he was the youngest of his siblings. Ahmed used to call potatoes Baba Tata. Sorry. And he called shekels tatels. His mother, his sister Huda, and his sister Arkan were all martyred that night. Huda and Ahmed were put in the same body bag. His brothers Muhammad, 13, and Yaman, 8, both saw his body that night. They're both visibly traumatized and can't talk about their little brother without bursting into tears. Whenever I see the trampoline and his other stuff, his ball and the other things he played with, I feel sad and I miss him. I miss all of them. And when I miss them, I pray for God to have mercy on them and to grant them heaven, said his brother Muhammad. These are the faces behind the 15,000 number. 15,000 children, over 15,000, I think by now it's over 16,000 children have been unalived since October the 7th. That is more children than any conflict combined for the past couple of years. More than 36,000 people in total have been unalived. This is a very, very rapidly developing genocide. And one day you're going to be an ancestor to somebody. And I wonder if you want to be an ancestor that your descendants are proud of, or do you want to be an ancestor that they're ashamed by? And when they ask you, where were you? What are you going to respond? And I need people to mobilize and do something about this, because what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Sudan, what's happening in the Congo, and what's happening in Haiti, these things should not be happening in 2024. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Athena. Appreciate you.
May I add to that?
Absolutely. Is that Cassie?
Yes, it's me.
Okay,
Hello,
hold on.
everybody.
Hold on 1 second. I got you, friend. Hold on. Boom. There we go.
Hi. Hello, everyone. This is, I wanted to add what Kobe was saying because this is someone else, right? Her name is Selma. Yesterday, Selma was running towards her father, and I've seen the videos of her. She was this happy child. She had just turned 5 years old. And an IDF soldier decided while she was running to her father was to snipe her. The impact was so hard that the top of her head is basically gone. So we hear these stories where it's like, that these kids are being being unalive because H group is taking shelter or using them as human shields. This is a fake narrative. We have heard multiple stories, not only from doctors that are on the ground, let's say with Doctors Without Borders or other organizations. They are deliberately targeting these children. and just out in the open. So when I saw the image of this child and the top of her head is missing because an IDF soldier decided to unalive her, I just, at the age of 5, think about that. Think about what would possess someone to look at a little girl running towards her father and saying, let's take her out for the hell of it. About 2 months ago, an article came out. It was on CNN where other doctors were stating that the amount of children that would come in with, I'm trying to use TikTok friendly language, with holes in their heads. This should let you know, if you're on the fence and you don't know exactly what's going on, I hope that my words resonate with you, that you start painting a clearer picture. People are being unalive intentionally. We saw a grandmother that was walking with a white flag with her small grandchild, and she was taken out. Just 2 days ago, we saw a man sitting by the road trying to sell whatever he had to be able to provide for his family. And he was taken out just sitting there still with product in his hand. This is the situation that we're looking at every single day. And I know many of us don't have the stomach for it. And we choose not to see these images. But I truly believe that we have to force ourselves to look at the reality. Because all they have is us. Not just people here on TikTok, those that are on other platforms, those that are hitting the streets, those that are protesting, the students at the encampments, all they have is us. And sometimes I feel like, sometimes people get bored, they have things going on in their lives. But you have to realize, if we stop or we take a break, then who's going to be there for them? Who's going to be there for them? Nobody. These politicians don't care. They just want to line themselves with as much money as possible. The war industry is extremely profitable. And as we all know, they're trying to expand the war now into Lebanon, which will be more deaths, more children unalive, which children have died there also. For what? For the expansion of land? So I really do hope that, I just wanted to say, for those that truly don't know what's going on, I mean, like, there's so many people. Janine, she's amazing. Kobe, amazing. Mr. Jones, thank you for letting me speak. Amlan. There's, throughout the day, there's so much information available that if you don't know, it's okay to ask these questions, and don't be shy, and, hop on these panels or send people on this platform DMs, and let's continue to fight the fight that we're here for. That's what I wanted to say. But thank you so much, Mr. Jones, for allowing me time to speak.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. You're welcome any time.
I also did get a message just now. I think it's important because we do have quite a bit of Canadian viewers. I mean, if you live in a different country, you can obviously always research and see how you can contact your representatives. This is not just a US issue. Like, we should obviously be involved in politics wherever we are in the world. But for Canada specifically, I was able to get the website where you can contact your representative. Let me just look at it really quick so I pronounce it right.
Mr. Jones, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Guys, go ahead. I gotta take this phone call. So go ahead and carry on. I have to take this phone call.
Hi guys.
Hi, Ramona.
Hi, Janine.
Why is everyone so quiet? What is this?
I know what happened.
Well, I think that I do want to mention though for Canada, right? You know, like I don't want to mispronounce your name, Chiara,
Yeah, it's
right?
Kiara.
That was
Oh,
on
Kiara. Okay.
accident.
See, I know I would anyway. All right. Well, good I asked. All right. So, like Kiara said, though, right? Like contact, you can get in contact with the representatives. Like you can get in contact with even, bro, go as far as Trudeau's office. Like, why not? I hope everybody's also been calling the White House. Contact the White House as well here in America. Like
Hmm.
we should be doing those things. You know, it doesn't stop at local. It starts at local, and we should continue it forward. Same thing with Canada. We should be doing that there as well. You know.
I think they didn't even hear me when I was saying which website you can access for Canada. It's the On Project Canada or the On Canada Project. You can look that website up. It's also in Sarah from Sask's Linktree if you want to look into that. And that's how you can email your representatives. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like just simply going to the local level is not enough. Like we have to bring this on a whole different level. Always know that politicians are our servants, not the other way around. They are the ones that are responsible to represent us and our interests. And if they don't do that, if they don't do their jobs, we have the ability to criticize them. And that not only goes for Republicans, that also goes for your own party. Have the balls to criticize your own party, otherwise you're not any better than MAGA. Then you're also just as complicit to it. You have to speak out. You have to say, hey, I am in favor of all your policies, but what you're doing around there with Palestine and Israel, I am not in favor for. And I need you to change that. I need you to educate yourself.
Exactly.
Is everything okay?
Exactly.
Did I miss something?
No, everything's okay. Just giving the Canada website for emailing the representatives.
And I
But
love how you said it, you know, that yes, they work for us. We voted them in. We put them in positions of power. So we should be able to speak up and tell them we don't like what they're doing. And especially, bro, like the tax dollars going to unalive people like this, we should be able to say that we don't want that. And there are actually, if everybody looks into the Leahy laws, please look into that for yourselves. It's, I don't know how to spell it, but it's the Leahy laws. Basically how it sounds, like sound it out. But I urge everyone to please look into that and use it to your advantage. It is literally a law that we have here in the US where our tax dollars should not be going to human rights violations. And I think that, you know, Israel being on trial for 2 violations is more than enough for us to tell them to stop. On top of that, if everybody looks at their W-2, right? If you work, take a look at your W-2 on that second page there. You are able to mark yourself as tax exempt. It's totally legal. Yes, I think it's spelled like that. Yeah, it's the first one. Leahy laws. But for the W-2, take a look at that second page. You can mark yourself as tax exempt. Your taxes won't be taken out of your paycheck. You know how often you get paid. You will have to pay them back later. However, you know, if you donate to Congo, Sudan, Palestine, those donations are tax deductible. You know, we have to think smarter with our money. We know that they're taking our money to fund these violations. We can't keep giving them our money. And we're able to do that. So please, everyone, look at your W-2 and read up on the Leahy laws. There are ways around this. There are ways for us to, you know, pressure and keep moving forward.
All right. I think Ramona wanted to say something as well.
Yeah, really quickly. I just want to say, so far, guys, this morning we have sold 13 tickets. We have sold 13 tickets so far. There's 437 people in here. As we said, it's going to an amazing cause. And if, you know, your name is chosen once we sell the tickets, you have the opportunity to win this beautiful original piece by world-renowned artist Dantrell Bonet Boone. Who has been featured, you know, on the cover of Time magazine, as well as many other publications. His name is on, his face is on a national monument. here in the United States. And you get one of his original pieces, and your money, no matter what, whether you win or not, goes to an amazing cause in terms of providing aid to the people in Palestine. So please go to the link in my bio. It is Art Aid Auctions. It's the second one. It says Free Palestine Art Aid Auctions. Click that. Takes you right to the page. Right now, there's $25 tickets, which is an early bird special. Once all the $25 tickets are gone, they're gone. And then it goes back up to $50. So go in there, get your ticket now. All right, I'm done. Go ahead, Ramona. Good morning. Have you had some water? Have you said something kind about yourself?
Hello. Wait, I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear us?
Ramona?
And sometimes that's a TikTok glitch. So, Ramona, if you come back into the app, maybe it's working now.
Thank you, ChatGPT, for buying your ticket. ChatGPT, where you can ask it anything and then use that nonsense as your source. That's my commercial for ChatGPT today. Can I tell you guys a quick story while we're waiting on for Ramona to come back?
Yes.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So I was asked to write a piece for a magazine. And I said, okay, no problem. So I write the piece and I send it to my rep, and my rep sends it to them. And they said, this was written with AI.
You are AI.
Yeah, actually, that's one of my biggest fears while still being in college, that I don't know, I have like oftentimes very intrusive thoughts, and I'm like, what if I accidentally like plagiarize this entire paper? Like that's just my thought
Wait,
process.
okay, listen, I definitely have to come to Jones's defense here. I have been physically sitting in the same room with him, watching him write these things, and it is him writing them. I do like to tease him about him being AI, but it is actually him, right? He's just a really great writer.
I've been accused of my writing being AI like just over the past couple of months, like 3 or 4 times now. And I really don't understand it. It really, at this point, it's pissing me off.
Isn't that a compliment?
No, because you know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like,
take it as a compliment?
Sure, but not really. Because I mean, what you're saying to me is that you don't believe I'm capable of writing in this fashion. Is what like it means, like what it says to me.
Oh, I'm a glass half full. See, I would think that they thought you were as smart as a computer, that you have all that knowledge up there.
It's a backhanded compliment. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a compliment.
Maybe.
I think that you're a very, very talented writer, and I can't write like that.
Well, I think maybe it's like also your autism that makes it like
It definitely is.
makes it
It
robotic.
100% is.
Definitely the tism.
It's
Well-
100% the tism. Because I don't necessarily speak like that, but because if I did, right, if I spoke the same way that I write, nobody would listen to me.
Well, of course not. But you also like obviously when you make like a video essay versus like whereas writing like an essay, you write them differently because you have a different flow in language. Like I read differently than what I consume when somebody speaks it. Of course.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the way I text is not the way I write papers.
Of course not. No, I mean, I'm actually a pretty good writer. Like, that's one of the things that I was most scared of because, English is not my native language and I only moved here a couple years ago. So I was really concerned that my writing is not going to be up to par to college levels. But I mean, professors have literally said to me, there's no way that you just moved to the United States and that English isn't your first language.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, like literally.
Bone, I have to vehemently disagree with you, Bone, because I have graded papers, and some of the papers that I have graded, I'm like, bro, what? Like, no. People in the reverse do not, like, they don't write like they're writing, they write like they're speaking, and it's, I'm like, you're at a advanced degree level, like what in the French toast is happening?
Yo, I was watching this Instagram the other day. I hope I saved it. Hold on. I want to read you some of these things. I think I liked it. I hope I did. If I didn't,
Is it the
I'm
one
gonna
you
be.
sent me?
Is it with
It might be.
the text messages that people were sending to each other?
Oh no, you didn't send it to me.
Oh, I
Not
did.
text, not anything with text messages.
Hold on. Let me see. Yes, it is. Okay. Are men obligated to pay for everything
Oh
in a
yeah, it
relationship?
is what you sent me.
It says are men obligated to pay for everything in a relationship. They put habla like habla español, habla inglés, HABLA. Are men obligated to pay for everything in a relationship? This one says, don't y'all hate when teachers used to coffin skate your phone? COFFINSKATE, your phone.
We do have a pro-Israel person on the panel right
Okay,
now.
go ahead. I apologize. I just thought that these were hilarious.
So, Mega, why do you think it's appropriate to put Israel flags in the comments?
Because I've been kicking Nazi ass since the 90s.
Oh, well then you should understand that like the G side of a group of people is bad.
Absolutely, it's horrible.
Yeah,
and it's definitely a G side for sure.
Yeah, so when like one of these people is not being harmed in any way, and the other group is being harmed, I mean by the tens of thousands, it seems odd that you would accuse the latter of being the ones committing a G-side.
I didn't accuse anybody. I just put the Israeli flag in and they brought me up.
Yeah, so you know what that stands for. Let's be for real. Okay, let's not be intellectually
Yeah, that
dishonest.
stands for the Jewish faith. What else does it stand for?
That's
No,
not true.
a flag doesn't stand for faith. A flag stands for a
The
nation.
Star of David may be a representative of the Jewish faith,
Yeah, that's
but
what I'm
certainly
talking about.
not the Israeli flag. Well, there's an emoji for the Star of David that doesn't have the Israeli flag. The Israeli flag is a nation state.
I'll start using. You
see that right there? Alam, put the Jewish star.
I'm more concerned with that than I am the state. Like Netanyahu is a right wing piece of crap. The government is a right wing piece of crap. But I am extremely, extremely upset and afraid that there are so many young people out there that have completely forgotten about the Holocaust. And there are a lot of white nationalists that love the fact that you guys are hating on Israel right now. They love it. They're chomping at the bit.
Because Israel is a bad place.
Well, but the Jewish people are not. So,
and I don't think that I think so. I feel like one, you're not giving young people enough credit. These young people are not out there fighting against Jewish people. There's actually Jewish young people side by side with these other young people advocating
110%.
for the end of this G.
You're not afraid. You're not afraid of all those white nationalists that are kind of creeping into these pro-pally things and being like,
can you see my face, bro?
Yeah, I see it.
I'm black.
You're not afraid of that. You're not afraid of that.
I'm black. Like white nationalism has always been a problem for black people in the United States.
So all the things that I did to go against skinheads and Nazis and white nationalists in the 90s, that I'm not allowed to do that anymore. I can't go and fight Nazis.
I mean, I don't know how you arrived at that point.
Can we just use TikTok friendly language?
Yeah, say Schnazi.
Schnazis, whatever.
So
Okay.
Nazis can face
as
the
an older
wall. Yeah, okay. Let me tell you, we hate Nazis. Okay, we're very anti-Nazis, and we can smell them from a mile away. We can trust we can, but we cannot conflate Zionism with Judaism, and we can absolutely not conflate white nationalists with people that are anti-apartheid and anti-G-side. We cannot do that.
Well, that's a little above my pay grade. Maybe I'm just not educated enough. I just am going to go and see what I have seen over my lifetime, and I am very anti-religious. I do not believe any religion is good. That might offend people here that are Christian or Muslim or Jewish, and I do apologize for offending you on that. It's my right to not believe in a deity on planet Earth, and I do not believe in any deity. As a matter of fact, you know how we call MAGA a cult? I believe that religions are a cult. Now, again, you can laugh and you can say I'm a horrible person for thinking that, but that's fine. That's how I believe. I'm
most
going
of
to
us,
say
like
that
everybody on this, everybody on your side of the page is literally not religious.
Well, whatever. I'm just saying I'm not religious. So, from what I've seen in religion, the Islamic religion seems to cause the most human rights violations on planet Earth.
Stop it.
No,
So
no.
hold on,
Okay.
guys. Hold on. I got this. Thank you. We're talking about the Crusades, right? We're talking about like the
Christianity is number 2.
No, they're number 1.
Right up there.
They're number 1.
No, they're number 2.
They're number 1. They're number 1.
Islam has surpassed them. Nope.
No fucking way. Quite literally, every single colonized land on this planet literally has been colonized in the name of Christianity, and their indigenous populations wiped off the face of the earth. All of North America, all of Central America, all of South America, all of Africa, all of Australia, most of India, you know what I'm saying? Like most of the Asian countries. Like, please, for the love of
Islam
Christ
is
Jesus, for the life of Jim Crow Jesus. No, you're fucking disgusting for coming up here and lying.
Disgusting.
You're disgusting for coming up here and lying. Like millions and millions and millions of people. So many indigenous people were unalived here in the United States in the name of Christianity that it quite literally changed the core temperature of the earth. So what we're not going to do is put that on Islam by no stretch of the imagination. Islam has not come anywhere close to G-siding any group of individuals.
I'm going to continue muting you. What you are not going to do is you're not going to be Islamophobic in this live while Palestinians are being genocided and being subjected to Islamophobia. If you want to stop being a petulant child and engage in a conversation, I will stop muting you. But if you want to throw a temper tantrum, go to your fucking next Walmart. You douchebag, okay? Go to a Walmart and throw a temper tantrum. What I will not be allowing on this panel is any Islamophobia or any anti-Palestinian sentiments or any Arab phobia or any anti-Semitism. And if you decide to come up here pretending as if you fucking care about Jewish people in order to weaponize them against another marginalized community, get the fuck out of here. Now, I'm going to unmute you. The moment you mention another Islamophobic phrase, I swear to fucking God, I will kick you off this panel. And you can go to your nearest Walmart. Again, let me make it clear. There will not be any anti-Semitism, there will not be any Islamophobia, and there will not be any Arab phobia.
Yo, hold on
no
1 second.
No Jewish people, no Muslims, no Jewish people, no Arabs, no Palestinians deserve to be attacked for simply existing within this world.
Yeah, right.
And if you want to pretend to be a liberal, like again, I will unmute you the moment your fucking ass says one more thing Islamophobic. Go to your next Walmart.
Yeah.
Understood?
Also, really quickly, fuck him. Really quickly, y'all talking about like marrying, Islam allows men to marry young children. Like, do you know how old Mary was, you dummies? Like what? In addition to that, like God literally called on people to go into cities and unalive the entirety of the cities and take the young girls who had not known a man, You know what I'm saying? Unto themselves. So stop it with that nonsense. It's almost like you
Okay.
don't read your own damn books.
I'm gonna unmute you, right? And if you say one more thing Islamophobic, I will disconnect you immediately. Unmute yourself.
Feel better?
Yes, I do actually feel better.
I could tell. I know.
Yeah, I
It's
do.
good.
Hey,
It's good to get that kind of
don't
stuff out.
patronize her because I
No,
will.
it's
I will
okay.
drop you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I mean,
This
I
is
can't do anything. You might as well just kick me out. I mean, you're not.
No problem.
Okay, fine.
man.
Get
No
the fuck
problem.
out of here.
No
Wait,
problem.
can I make something clear?
No
Yeah,
problem.
get the fuck out of here, right? Let me make this clear. When I made this project, I made this project to be amplifying Palestinian voices and to be amplifying what's happening in Gaza. Don't you fucking dare. Just because I'm soft-spoken does not mean I'm a doormat. Don't you fucking dare. You don't think even an ounce that you can use this project to spread or express any Islamophobia or any Arab phobia or any anti-Palestinian sentiments or any anti-Semitism either. There will be no marginalized community that is going to be dehumanized, and none of that is going to be associated with anything that I am a part of. Anything I am associated with, none of your disgusting bigotry is going to be associated with that. So get that straight. And I'm telling you from now, there will be no religion talk. I do not want any religious texts being dissected. I don't want any identities being dissected or analyzed. I want people to focus on the dehumanization of Palestinians, the dehumanization of Arabs and Muslims, and what is happening in Palestine right now. If you have another ulterior motive or agenda to be using this movement to dehumanize Palestinians or Arabs or Jewish people, then get the fuck out of here. That's a boundary that I'm setting.
Also, it's like, who the fuck do y'all think y'all are telling people to move on already? Kick rocks.
Oh, I got a 30
You don't want to
second
listen to it. You don't got to stay here. Bye. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Your boy was a white supremacist.
Oh,
if you
sure.
if you bring him back up, I guarantee I will get people to understand how white supremacy disguises itself by concern trolling.
Sean, yeah, I don't want to bring that up because again, I am not going to be tolerating. Again, these are the boundaries of the project. The boundaries of
I'm
the
not
project
doing. Yeah, I'm not doing the
are no
Islamophobia
religion,
shit.
no religion, no Islamophobia, no anti-Semitism, no Arab phobia. Those are the boundaries. You cross those boundaries, you get kicked off the live or kicked off the panel. I do not want my name associated with any ism or any of the people who are participating in these lives to be associated with any ism.
Same. I stand on that. Firm on that. I'm not gonna let anybody sit up here, you know what I'm saying, and be Islamophobic. Not here.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much, by the way.
Yeah, I had my finger on the trigger. So as soon as he said you might as well drop me, I had already hit the button. Hey guys, we should be well over 350. Matter of fact, I've made several announcements today. I'm not going to make any more announcements. So until
I've
there we go.
That individual was on the verge of our little friend Jack last night. He was right there. He was right there. He was about to get it. He's about to lose his marbles.
For sure. Sean, is there anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I really wanted to expose dude so everyone would understand how white supremacists disguise themselves by concern trolling, but
No, I appreciate that, and I know, but I'm not allowing him back up. At least not today. Maybe he can come back some other time, but today ain't the day. I'm not here for it. So who wanted to speak next? And Ramona did come back. Oh, Tamika, good morning. How are you? Have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
I absolutely have had some water and said something kind about myself.
Glad to hear.
Can you?
Your
Yeah, I
Majesty,
know
thank you for
better
the
than to come up
subscription.
here. I know better than to come up here without my water.
I'm glad.
Thank you for allowing me up on your panel. I listen every morning religiously, but this is my first time coming up. The thing I wanted to address was probably a little bit ago when the gentleman or the individual came up and he was an African American male, but he was not showing much sympathy for or empathy for Palestine at all. So for people who think like him and who have his viewpoints, I just want to say, remember that you can't trust the media. The narrative that goes out is not often the truth. As a person of color, he should realize that. We see it every day. We live it every day. It happens to us all the time. And so just apply that and have that grace for everybody else as well. Just know that you can't trust what's sent out to you. You can't just believe that. And just dig a little deeper and think a little harder and have some compassion.
I agree.
Yeah, that's my point. It just annoys me when people of color, I'm a person of color, as you can see. So I really hate when we want all the empathy and all the support in the world and we don't give it back. We don't reciprocate. That bothers me. So I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. And that's all I got. But thank you for everything that you do every day. You caught me right before payday, so when payday comes, I will hit you up.
Listen, you're fine. You're fine. But for the rest of you, though, I expect you to be going on into my link tree and making a donation to this Palestinian effort. So for those of you who want to enter into a chance to win this beautiful piece of artwork by Dantrell Bonet Boom, right here, called From the River to the Sea. You can go into the link tree in my bio. I think there's still a few $25 tickets left. It'll close out once we reach 50 tickets sold. Then the price will go up to $50 a ticket. But and you can buy as many tickets as you so please. You can buy as many tickets as you so please. If you go to the Art AIDS auction, it will say Free Palestine. I think it's like the second link on my link tree. And click the Free Palestine button. You can go and make a donation to the effort, and with a chance to win this beautiful piece of artwork. Ramona, thank you for coming back. How are you? Have you had some water? Have you said something kind about yourself?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Ramona. Finally, I'm glad that you made it to the live. I think Janine, you wanted to say something.
I
before we
just
go to
wanted
Ramona?
to thank everyone for giving me the platform to speak. I do have to get going, and appreciate you all for your support. And I
Absolutely.
just want to remind everyone that the Palestinian cause is not a religious one. It is Palestinians have consistently said this over time and time again, is that it is not a religious cause. We have like Kobe said earlier, we are extremely diverse within the Palestinian community. There are Christians, there are Muslims, there are Jews, there are pagans, there are secular. So please stop conflating religion with our cause. Thank you.
Yeah. This is a humanitarian cause. This is not a religious cause. Thank you, Allison, for the Venmo. I appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. So, Ramona, you came up here a bit later. I think a lot of people would basically just like to hear your perspective, maybe on the occupation. You are a person who's from Gaza, so maybe you could share some perspectives on the occupation, how the occupation affected your life personally, your family's life, your childhood maybe, and then if you have some statistics on the occupation and how specifically people from Gaza have a unique experience when it comes to the occupation.
Yeah, so okay. So growing up pre-age group election, There was age group in Gaza, but Gaza had Jewish settlers in it. There was about 8,000 Jewish settlers, and over 1.5 million of a population of Palestinians, half of them children, lived on 70% of the land. Then you have the 8,000 settlers taking up mostly the coastal area and taking up over 30% of the land. So that first just goes to show, the inequality and how you have like 30% of the whole land of the Gaza Strip occupied by settlers, but then you have the large majority of the population kind of locked in away from them, because when you talk to them, they'll say age group this, age group that, right? But it's not age group, because at the time Gaza was under the Palestinian Authority, which which is the biggest collaborator with Israel, which their bullets only unalive Palestinians after the Oslo Accords. But yeah, there was ITF presence everywhere. Not to the extent of the West Bank today, so that's why West Bank people have their unique, experience. West Bank people experience raids and attacks, by the ITF. But what I saw was, you'll see ITF lined up inside buildings on the stairs, just tactics of intimidation. You'll see them on border crossings, just yelling at people, mistreating people, not allowing people out, beating up people. In Gaza, it was more of a passive occupation where, especially after they took out their settlers in 2005. So you will see a lot of Zionists coming up and saying, oh, this is the fault of the age group. But there was always a blockade in Gaza. Even before 2005, there was a blockade in Gaza. The Jewish settlers could move freely. They could get whatever they want. They lived in gated communities. But then you have the Palestinians who couldn't move freely, who you have like over 40 Palestinian women having to die on checkpoints because they were trying to get to a hospital to give birth. So a lot of Palestinian women died on checkpoint, just waiting to get to a hospital to give birth, because you have a lot of ITF stopping ambulances from reaching their destination. You have the ITF stopping, the Israeli government stopping specific products from going into Gaza, and some medical instruments. So, if you needed surgery, for example, and it's not to say we don't have good doctors. We have great doctors, very educated people, but the lack of medical resources is because of the blockade, because they didn't allow some instruments, and you have people getting really sick, and having to apply to a medical permit. And to get the medical permit, you have to do an interview with the Israeli government. And you can only imagine somebody who's so sick and having to sit for an interview, and then getting a decision that it's rejected because they're a threat to the security of the state of Israel, or because they're an intelligence threat, but never getting the reason why they're a threat, and then having to die while waiting for medical treatment, or getting rejected when what they had to begin with was preventative. Like I saw that with my mother, right? Thank God she is with me now, but I saw that with my mother, where she was sick, and she needed surgery, and it could have been prevented, and we had to wait for weeks. And you see people in like unnecessary pain and unnecessary agony, just waiting for a permit to go to a hospital. And then you go to the hospital, and they're kind of like, you can sense in that they're looking at you. I don't know, like, you have Arab doctors there, you have Palestinian doctors there, but it's very different. So my experience is very different from West Bank people, because I didn't mix much with the occupier. And again, for us, it's passive, where they will call your home. For example, in the second Intifada, they'll call your home. It'll be an operator, or it'll be some ITF whatever they'll be speaking in Arabic. They'll say, that they're going to bomb your house or threaten you, or yeah, that we're gonna bomb your house, we're gonna do this to you, your neighbors this, your neighbors that. And a lot of the times we just didn't leave. We just didn't leave the building because we do live in high-rise buildings, because of the density of the population. And I don't know if I'm yapping at this point, but we did live in high-rise buildings because of the density of the population. So even now, you can imagine what it's like for a family to decide that we got a call that we will be getting bombed, but we chose not to leave because we don't want some of us to have the time to leave or leave on time while the rest of us stay and get unalived. So we would rather just all stay together. We would rather all stay together and get unalived together so nobody can stay behind to, feel sad over everybody else. So we're either all gonna get unalive together, or if we had the time to leave, we would leave. And a lot of the time, it was really a scare tactic where they would tell you they're going to bomb, but then they bomb your neighbor, or they don't bomb at all. So every time if you were to leave every time they called, you just keep going back and forth. So it was more like a psychological thing from them. Then you have the drones also. And that, mind you, that was before H group was elected, right? And then, of course, after H group got elected, the blockade got much worse. Fishermen were getting attacked in the sea by the Israeli Navy. A lot of fishermen unalived, a lot of them amputees. Now Gaza has the biggest amputee population of children in the world. You know, and then you have the Palestinians electing a government democratically electing a government, over 800 international observers saying, "Oh, this was the most democratic election in the history of the Middle East," right? And then they get punished for it. They get a blockade. They get unalivings. They get a war every 2 years or so. Constant military incursions. So it is occupied territory. Gaza is occupied territory. But I would say it's just not a conventional occupation like it is effective military occupation inside of the strip. And it's very easy for, I don't know if this is human nature, but when you don't see the person in front of you, the person that you're unaliving, right? When you don't see them in front of you, all you know about them is false information, stereotypes that women are oppressed, that women are getting beat up, that we're some savages, uncivilized people just running around the streets. The level of dehumanization. And I was telling Kovi this yesterday, and the idea that we, people from Gaza did not bring anything to the world, and the world without them will go on, that they're not adding anything to the world, and if they get nuked, then that's not going to change anything. That idea makes it easier for Israel to unalive people and genocide people, especially in Gaza, because when all you have to do is press a button or look from a distance, it's very easy to genocide people. Now, yeah, that I could go on and on about different things, but yeah, if there's something you want to ask or a discussion you want to have.
I guess the question I wanted to ask was a lot of people who were not paying attention outside of Palestine think that everything started on October the 7th. So my question for you, Ramona, is when do you think it actually all started?
Yeah, just a little bit of history. Gaza was never under Jewish rule. Okay, and historically, Gaza was never under Jewish rule. The Jews never ruled Gaza historically, because we know the claim that they make to what they call Judea and Samaria or the West Bank. Gaza itself as a territory was never under Jewish rule. However, a lot of empires, or Gaza saw a lot of empires, right? We have a saying in Arabic that you will hear from people in Gaza. The translation of it is that, Gaza Gaza Halbain, which you will know that every Palestinian in Gaza will know what that means. It means Gaza was invaded by death because of the amount of people that came in, and because of the amount of invaders that that Gaza has seen. Now, when you look at the map, Gaza is a very small strip, but it's really not, because it's occupied territory. So my family, for example, is from Gaza, but they are refugees in Gaza as well, because Gaza was a much bigger area of land. It was not a strip. If you look at older maps, Gaza was much bigger. So what was attacked on October 7, what is called the Gaza envelope, the kibbutz that they call southern Israel, is where my family comes from, right? Where my family got ethnically cleansed from in 1948. Like Ashkelon, they call Ashkelon or Asqalan, Al-Majdal, is where my grandmother's from, like my father's mother's from. And that's where the kibbutz are, right? That's where some of the kibbutz are that were attacked on October 7. So you have a group of people blockaded in, and me, for example, I've never been there. I've never been to the village where my family is actually from. So you have all these people getting ethnically cleansed, right? You have all these people getting ethnically cleansed into Gaza in 1948 in the most ugliest ways possible. Like, for example, at Dawaima village, they were telling people were literally hiding in mosques for safety, and the ITF would go into the mosque and tell the people, come outside, it's safe, and they would line them up against a wall, and they would execute all of them together, or they would hit the children with sticks on their heads until they get unalived. So that was the kind of thing that happened in the Nakba, in our catastrophe, 1948. And so my family became refugees in the other part of Gaza, like Jabalia, Jabalia refugee camp, which my family did not live in Jabalia refugee camp anymore, like in October, but they went to Jabalia refugee camp because they were attacked by the Israelis in October of. It's funny. It was in October of 1948, and yeah, and then they constantly kept taking more and more and more land away from Gaza until it became a strip. So you have this high density of population, one, because the fertility rates were high at some point, and two, because you have all this refugee population coming from all over. So over 85% of the population in Gaza are actually refugees, like my family, for example. My mother is actually from Gaza, so she does not come like from a refugee family in that sense, but that's very few people. And so, yeah, what was attacked on October 7 is where we are from. It's not Israeli territory, it's where the people in Gaza descended from. So you can only imagine somebody living and like being born and living their whole life under a blockade, seeing 5 wars, seeing constant incursions, constant bombings, right? In Gaza, seeing constant bombings, and then they one day, like 18 years in, 17 years in, they break through the fence. They just break through the fence. And there's a lot of pictures that came out from October 7 where you'll see people who broke out of the fence kissing the ground. They're literally on the ground, like kneeling on the ground and kissing the ground outside the fence, because that is how difficult it was just to get to the other side of the fence. Even if you're hundreds of meters away from the fence, you're gonna get unalived, like happened in the March of Return. But things did not start on October 7. Things started on October 7 for the Israelis, because they were fine. I asked many Zionists on the app. I don't know like who the viewership here is or what what they consist of, but I always ask Zionists or Israelis, Did you think about people in Gaza before October 7? Did we cross your mind on, during the week, on any day of the week? Did you ever think about us? No. No. They just live their lives like we're non-existent, like the occupation is not there. So yeah, sure, for them October 7 started, like life started on, and the Big Bang started on October 7, and life started on October 7, and everything else before it didn't matter because they don't know what happened before it. On October 4th, we were protesting the economic blockade. On September 28th, we were getting bombed. On August and July and June and May 2023, we were getting bombed. Dozens of children got unalived by Israel in May of 2023. That's 5 months before October 7. In May, they had a flag march in Jerusalem where they unalived many Palestinians, vandalized our holy places, and we saw the flag march recently. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where they attacked all these people. In January, I believe 28 or 18, Ben Gvir went into Al-Aqsa Mosque and took a little stroll on what they call the Temple Mount, which, by the way, they're not allowed to be there. And that's literally what Ariel Sharon did in early 2000s, which started the Second Intifada. Just walking on our holy sites, basically to tell people that you don't have control over this. We're here. We occupy you. We're the occupier. We control you. This is our territory. And that sparked the Second Intifada. And again, they did it in 2023. So, yeah, a lot of people got unalived in 2023 before the 7th. It was the deadliest year for Palestinian children before the 7th. More children got unalived even in Gaza, like outside of the context of a war or a genocide, before the 7th. So no, it didn't start on the 7th. But people unfortunately don't know what was happening on October 6 or October 4, because there was actually something happening in the West Bank and in Gaza. But yeah, sorry, I'm going off on like rants.
No, don't
No,
apologize.
you're good. There's no reason to apologize. Hey, listen, guys, I need like a 15 to 20 minute break. So I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to end the live, and I'm going to come back, like I said, in about